Canada's biggest city, Canada's sport, Canada's team, Canada's fanatic sports passion, Team Canada's historic hockey pair. Team Canada's captain number 66 and the great one go for more glory. The Czech Republic entered the World Cup of Hockey with heavy hearts, losing coach and mentor Ivan Halinka 2 days before training camp. The Czechs struggled early, losing their first 2 games, finding themselves on the brink of disaster. Then an offensive explosion as the Czechs tallied 13 goals in their next 2 games, including a 6-1 dominating upset victory over Sweden. For Team Canada, the road to the semifinals has been quite different. A team assembled by the Great One has been dominant in posting the only perfect record of the tournament. With a deadly combination of skill and grit, unlike any Canadian team ever assembled, the Canadians have posted wins over the United States, Russia, and Slovakia to advance to the quarterfinals. An impressive 5-0 victory for a second time over Slovakia has Hockey Nation at a fever pitch. Tonight, Mario Lemieux and Team Canada looks to move one step closer to another international championship. Air Canada Center for the Toyota World Cup of Hockey on ESPN2. Finland is awaiting Tuesday's game up against the winner of tonight's game between Canada and the Czech Republic. Hi, everyone. I'm Mike Emmerich. Over the 11 seasons that Martin Brodeur has been a goaltender for the New Jersey Devils, the Team Canada goalie has only missed 3 games to injury, 2 because of the flu and 1 because of a shoulder problem. This morning, he met with reporters. An injury to his catching hand, and he posed the notion that he might not be able to play tonight, yielding to Roberto Luongo.
In my hand, I did a lot of treatment this morning, and as of now, I don't know if I'll be all right, but I will wait a little bit and do a little more this afternoon, and we'll see. But it's definitely it's a little sore, so I don't know if I'll be able to go.
You know, I was there in 2003 when Sean Burke got injured. It was during the game, and Roberto had to come out, and we ended up going on to win the game. So we have a ton of confidence in him. He's played unbelievable, not only for Team Canada in the past couple of years, but obviously for the Florida Panthers as well. So we're just going to go out and we're going to play hard and expect him to do what he always does, and that's step up and make saves.
We have the depth at that position with Roberto and Jose. So. I don't feel like we have to change anything, you know. He's going to make the saves, and we're going to play the same game.
Joined now by Darren Pang. What's the latest on Brodeur?
Well, he is not going to play. Roberto Luongo will play. It was the catch in hand as a result of a hard slap shot from Jaroslav Obsut of the Slovakian team, and it really caught Marty by surprise. He was explaining it to me this morning. Looks like it might be some kind of nerve damage. It's hurt his elbow as well. It might have been a long-term injury that had happened before, but if it keeps Marty Brodeur out of the lineup, you know it's something serious, and I think he's being very unselfish by not playing. He's putting a healthy guy in the net, and that's Roberto Luongo. Keep in mind, Luongo's been a star goaltender. He was a runner-up for the Vezina Trophy to Martin Brodeur, but he hasn't played since May in the World Championships.
Well, Marty St. Louis was right. This is a team deep in goal, but it's deep everywhere else, too, especially on offense.
Well, the big line really came through in the game against Slovakia. They combined for 8 points, led by Mario Lemieux. Jerome McGinley had not scored a goal before that play right there. Mario was very majestic in some of the passes that he made, and obviously they blew by the Slovakian team. Look for Mario to set the tone again in this game with a lot of physical hits. Yeah, he was hitting like crazy in that game. Look for them to keep that up.
Well, the Czech Republic has a history of not only scaring Canada, but beating them now and then. To do that tonight, who has to be big?
Well, they know their goaltender, Thomas Vokoun, who plays in the NHL with the Nashville Predators, is going to have to be brilliant again. Yes, the Czech Republic started off slowly, but their last 3 games, they've really been tremendous. And in the last 7 periods, they've outscored the opposition 16-3. There's a good look at Jaromir Jagr. This Czech Republic team right now is organized. They've got an up-tempo practice, and they are ready for Team Canada.
They began training in mid-August. They began playing in late August. Some will have a berth in the championship. Some will be finished. They determine their future tonight. Powerful scoring machines. The Czech Republic, 16 goals in 7 periods. Canada, 15 goals in 4 games, closer to the start. Here they come, the host Canadians, the home team, perfect in 4 games. Against the resurgent Czechs, thinking of the late Ivan Halinka, their former coach. And at the ice, Darren Pang with Canada's Jerome Iginla.
Much, Mike. Jerome, you've got a little bit of change now. Obviously, your goaltender's not playing. Does that change Team Canada's thought process going up against the Czech Republic?
No, it doesn't change it. You know, Brodeur has been spectacular for us so far in this tournament. But our D-men have been very good in front of them, and we have depth there. It's something that Brodeur is truly, he's unbelievable, and he's been amazing. But Luongo's been great in international competition. We have so much confidence in him. He was up for the Vezina this year, so it's nice to be able to go back and to look back and know he's back there too.
How good has your captain been, Mario Lemieux, leading the forecheck and hitting guys?
He's been a great inspiration for us. You know, to be one of the top couple players to ever play the game and to get a chance to play with him and see how down to earth he is. And now when he's out here, what a great leader, because, you know, it inspires the rest of us when he's out there back checking, getting hits, and it just fires us up.
Jerome, good luck.
Thanks, Banger.
Thank you. Jerome Iginla for Team Canada. Let's go to the Czech Republic bench and Joe Micheletti.
Okay, Darren, thanks very much. We're with Milan Hajduk. Milan, your team got off to a very slow start in this tournament, but you're playing excellent hockey now. What did you do to change that?
Well, I think we changed it a little bit in the second game in Sweden, third period. I thought we played pretty good hockey. We scored that period 3 goals, and then we kept it up a little bit, and we played a pretty good game against Germany at home, and our best game so far was in the quarterfinal against Sweden.
Marty Brodeur is not going to play in goal tonight for Canada. Does that change your strategy at all?
No, I think Roberto Luongo, he's going to be in the net, and both are great goaltenders, so we won't change anything, and we'll play our style.
In this game, last names are unnecessary. Jaromir on one team, Mario on the other. Once teammates, now opponents for a berth in the final.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. And the Mexico Tourism Board. Mexico, beyond your expectations.
Welcome to the ESPN studios. Barry Melrose, David Amber. Beautiful Toronto right now. Looks like a great day.
Always nice in Toronto.
Great day for some hockey. Canada taking on the Czech Republic. Canada without Martin Brodeur, but do they have to change their approach at all?
First off, Canada's 3 goalies are better than any other team's goalies in the playoffs, so it's not a problem. The only problem is Roberto Luongo is usually used to seeing 40 shots. He won't see 40 tonight. But the Czechs do not like physical play. The Canadians got to go at the Czechs early, physical, pound them from the first shift to the last shift. The Czechs then will say, man, we don't want it as bad as the Canadians, and they'll end up giving up. But you got to go at Jágr hard. You got to go at Hajduk hard. They're talented men offensively. Beating a Canadian team in Toronto on a Saturday night is like winning in Green Bay in January. It just don't happen, folks. If Canada comes and plays their game, no matter who's in net, they'll win this game.
Czech Republic, 16 goals scored in the last 7 periods. Are we more likely to see a 1-0 game or a 6-5 game?
I think it'll be like a 4-3 game, a 5-4 game. I think there's going to be some goals because of the offensive weapons on both teams. But again, Canada must pound them. I can't overemphasize that fact enough. Canadians play a physical style of hockey. The Czechs do not like physical hockey. They like it where they can come through the middle of the rink, nobody on them, make beautiful plays. Pound them in their end, pound them in the neutral zone, pound them in the offensive zone. The Czechs will not play that way for 60 minutes. Canada must play that way for 60 minutes.
This is going to be a physical one. This is definitely going to be a physical one.
If it's a physical game, that's by far in favor of the Canadian team. Canadians are a much bigger team than the Czechs, especially in their end with their defensemen.
All right, and scoring first is everything. All right, we're ready to drop the puck at the Air Canada Center. It didn't matter last night, but it matters tonight. Mike Emmerich, Darren Pang, take it away, guys.
Canada in home colors for the Toyota World Cup of Hockey on ESPN2 against the Czech Republic in white over red. Mario Lemieux is not starting. Jaromir Jágr is.
There was some question with Jágr and concern about a previous hip injury that resulted in maybe a stomach muscle groin problem. He's had that issue for years. He is ready to go, and he's a player that Team Canada is well aware of. So look for a combination of the Robin Regeer-Niedermayer defensive tandem or the Eric Brewer-Adam Foote to be on the ice when Jágr is there as well.
Of Draper, Doan, and Thornton, who are starting against him, who would have the biggest responsibility?
Well, definitely Draper, but also the left defenseman Regeer. Keep in mind, Thornton's line has gone against the other team's best during the whole tournament.
Prospel, Straka, and Yager with Fisher and Zidlitsky. Niedermeyer and Regier with Doan, Draper, and Thornton. And the first play to be made is by Vokoun. Then Doan, shouldered by Zidlitsky. Thornton, but it's pitched along for a little tip by Straka that'll have to be chased down. Canada is 5-0 in World Cup or Canada Cup semifinals. They are unbeaten in the last 10 against the Czech Republic or Czechoslovakia in those kinds of games. A quick trigger pull by Draper is blocked down by Zidlitsky, led ahead by Prospel, given over for the dump in by Marty Straka. Cruising is Yager. Could not stop it, and so back to center it comes.
Zidlitsky's a defenseman for the Nashville Predators. They've got to watch him. He's been an offensive threat every time he's on the ice.
Regier touches up, and the first stoppage of the game for an icing 53 seconds in.
Veteran head coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs and the head coach of Team Canada is Pat Quinn. And Pat Quinn's not one to worry about all kinds of matchups. He's not one to worry and fret over different things like who's my goaltender. He goes out and he focuses on the moment at hand, the present. Roberto Luongo gets the nod, and there was no question about that when Marty Brodeur announced that he couldn't play.
Pitch back out again and all the way to neutralized by Patrick Elias of the Czech Republic. Lobbed ahead now for the carry back in by Joe Sakic. Pitch back along, but again controlled by Canada, and Mario Lemieux sets up shop and plays it on back. Knife down. Oh, and Sakic a shot after he knocked that out of the air, and it caught the glass, and is played back out again by Elias. Canada has been the most dominant in this tournament than any team has been in international play since the Soviet Union in the 1980s, from really 1981 and World Championships on out through the Olympics of 84 and 88. They have been that impressive, and Luongo with his first handle of the game, a little block. Handed on back for the twist back in by Elias. Obediently, he comes to the bench, and another change of lines. Adam Foote is out on defense for Team Canada. Brought ahead by Eric Brewer. And again, hard for Canada to burrow in and get possession, but Richard sails it around. Kept alive there by Hannon, but then lost. Czech Republic shifts back to the offense. Brought back in for the drop, and Ruchinski a shot that's off the glove of Luongo. Two aside, battling in the corner. Milan Hajduk played it along. Once the return pass, can't get it. The testing phase of this game continues. Trying to dance free as Hajduk. No sail. Richards pitched it behind. 2.5 played here in the first period. There is an air of drama over this. Now, Canada and Canada's fans have been very confident. But there is that history. Going back to a shootout loss in the 98 Olympics in Nagano, which relegated Canada to playing for bronze. The Czech Republic went on and beat Russia for the gold. Played back along deep, and twisting back to yank it along once more is Le Cavalier, but back out to center, and again the Czech Republic. The testing phase continues. Ruchinski hands it across. Brought in by Reichel. Pitched into the glove of Luongo, who holds.
This is a heck of a pace. This is a wonderful pace right now. Team Canada and their staff have watched the Czech Republic practice for 2 days now, and they are impressed with how organized they are and the up-tempo style. Here's the first chance by Joe Sakic in the big line of Team Canada, just high over the glove. Then Ruchinski with the long shot, trying to go to the glove side on the big fella, Roberto Luongo, and that goes maybe off the end of the glove and off the side of the net. So 2 good chances at either end.
Same unit out for Canada to go against Yager's unit that started the game. Joe Thornton and Chris Draper and Shane Doan. It is reached by Yuri Fisher. Good shoulder check on him by Doan. Meanwhile, back out, fighting ahead is Prospel. Got it across to Yager. Tries to get by the defense. Good play made there by Robin Regier. Punched on back to the point. Dealt in by Ruchinski. And it is ruled onside. Fed around in front. Oh, and it had to be cleared out of the crease by Luongo, and played back at center by Zidlitsky. Owner of a goal a game for the last 3. Hands to Yager for a swagger shot that went off Niedermeyer and flopped wide. Played along to Draper. Change for Team Canada. Draper flips it ahead. Sakic trying to get by and can't. Locked up and waltzed to the corner by Thomas Caberlet. Meanwhile, it's Sakic to the outside. Watched there by Patrick Elias. Centering pass fails. Caberlet once again. But to the outside, they work some more Iginla. Across for Foote, and a shot was deflected off the outside of the goal near the post. And brought back ahead by Team Canada. Elias leading it on, hands across to Yager. Fed back in front, backhand pass popped up in the air, and it's grabbed and held by Luongo. Great pace, good start, a couple of close calls.
And you don't want to give the line of Jaromir Jagr and the line that he's on right now with Prospel and Straka too many odd man breaks against, but that was a 3-on-2. First, Mario set up Adam Foote for a long, hard shot, and I think the right toe of Okun got in the way of that one. And here's the odd man break that we have here. And it's the defenseman, no, it's Verborny that jumped off, and he jumps into the play, and the puck just innocently enough jumps up, but Roberto Luongo has shown that he is sharp, very alert, very attentive. No signs of nervousness so far in that net.
A giveaway, though. Puck held by Martin Havlat behind the net. Looking to the front. Verborny is there, but pretty well worked on. Fed to him, and he has to go around behind. Pursued there by Hannon. And it is held at the side of the goal by Luongo.
Well, for the Czech Republic and their former National League representative, Vladimir Ruzicka, a former National Hockey League player as well, it was a rough start. And obviously with the emotions, with Ivan Halinka passing away just prior to the World Cup, and for Ruzicka to take over that job was a very difficult decision for him. And the team certainly didn't rally around it the first couple of games. But boy, did they come on strong, Doc.
And it was interesting, Milan Hajduk wanted to focus on the game, but he also wanted to talk with Joe Micheletti about Ivan Halinka, a man who coached the Czechs to gold in '98 in Nagano, and in the '99 World Championships wore number 21 proudly as a player in the former Czechoslovakia for so many years. And they are paying tribute to him with the number 21 on their jerseys. Ahead at center is controlled by the Czech Republic, drifting on back and curling around behind now is Roman Hamrlik. New York Islanders defenseman just creeps in front, has no play, wants to get a change, circles the way.
It's a calm move by Hamrlik. I'm very impressed with their defense.
Ahead they march. Trying to move by is Ruchinski. Played right near the referee, and Regier waltzes in. Tangles with his man. Ruchinski comes by again. Good bang on him. At the half boards, played back by Hajduk, got it back from Ruchinski again. Fed it on back to the point for a shot that ricocheted in front, battled for there, backhanded across the net mouth, well wide, and that came from Peter Chayanek. Booted back to center. Too far for Ryan Smith. Followed up and tangled at the line. Right back to offense come the Czechs. And ahead is Dvorak with a shot that's blocked behind. Dvorak again, walks to the corner. Good crunch there with Eric Brewer. Outlet by Smith. Tapped on back, but quickly turned over to the Czechs again. Dealt back in. And the change for Team Canada is now complete. Dipping back further and playing for the Canadians is Danny Heatley on out to center. 6.5 played in the first period of a scoreless game. Puck squibs near Niedermeyer. Good shoulder to the corner with Dvorak. Played to Iginla. Could not yank the pass through. It's cut and sent toward the net by Dvorak. And another paddle play that comes from Luongo.
I like the way the Czech Republic are playing right now. They have a certain calmness to them right now. The Canadians are pressing a little bit.
Iginla tries to go one-on-one and is sent down on the seat of his pants right near the net to the point. It comes in a shot by Brewer. It's tapped aside by Okun. Lemieux plays it around behind. Fans buzzing now. Up with it is Iginla. Couldn't get a shot away as that was blocked near the front of the net by Dvorak.
On August 20th, the Czech Republic lost one of their great ones, Ivan Halinka. When we come back, we're going to look back at his brief National Hockey League career as they're wearing his number 21. Ivan Halinka of the Czech Republic, then of Czechoslovakia in the 1976 Canada Cup, scores one on Rogachev Vachon. Team Canada ended up winning that one. Then he came over to the National Hockey League, played for Harry Neal and the Vancouver Canucks. Ivan Halinka wearing 21. Very unfortunate. He was a great man with a lot of passion that he passed away on August 20th. One of the great men really hurt this hockey club. And in fact, Robert Reichel, who wears number 21 always, took on number 22, obviously. That jersey not being worn.
Regier's shot, glanced ahead, played back on, walked on by Jagr. Jagr with a little twisting pass that winds up being turned over to Canada and lobbed back in by Joe Thornton, but gloved down. On the bulletin board in the dressing room of the Czech team is a slogan from the Czech daily newspaper Sport. Budeme Ratiza Ivana. We will play for Ivan. Here is Yager moving in, and a backhander popped up in the air. Another try, and that one is blocked off. Turning with it now and working it on. Vinny Prospel dumps it around behind. Yager is up with it there, getting out to the front again, and a shot had to be stopped by Luongo. Yager starting to dance. Regier hit him. Niedermeyer ties up his man, and the interesting fact of all is just to listen to the buzz of the crowd. They sense that Yager's not going away early in this one, nearing the halfway point of the first period, and there's no score. Prospel continues to work. Marty Straka in there too. Jammed away from them. Caberlet, the Toronto Maple Leaf, could not stop it. Lobbed on ahead with puck possession. Oh, and a crunching hit by Doan, and Draper on Prospel. Seems to feel no ill effects. He's coming to the bench for a change in lines anyway. And up with it is Roman Hammerling. Connects on for a pass that is cut and brought back in onside. Brad Richards, hands, gets it back again. A little pass that went from Gagne, around behind, battled for, and it kicked back to the wall, kept alive there by Adam Foote. Scaled around for Brad Richards again. Bear hug there, but he escapes and twists one that went off the paraphernalia of Vokoun. Chopped on for a lift back out by Elias. 9 minutes played and no red lights on.
This is the only time Team Canada has had the puck deep in the Czech Republic zone other than the Mario Lemieux line that have done an excellent job of keeping it down low. I like the Czech Republic squad, Doc, are keeping it down low.
Here's Havlet. That doesn't connect. Brushed back along, but not out. A good keep by Zidlitsky, but the follow-up comes from Team Canada. Nearing the halfway point of this first period. Vokoun couldn't reach that one. Sped back around once more behind. Heatley is walled by Zidlitsky. Zidlitsky, not a large man, but playing very effectively there as well as offensively. Now it's fed out in front for a trickling backhander that's battled for it. Loose puck. Oh, out of a scramble. Coming up with it is Vokoun. How did that not go in?
Oh, Heatley's a bit snake-bitten. I talked to him this morning, and he is showing small signs of frustration with the fact that he hasn't scored just yet. That's an excellent chance by Heatley of the Atlanta Thrashers. Feeding it over to LeCavalier. LeCavalier's backhand, nothing on it. Ryan Smith's where he generally is, right on the blue paint on top of the goaltender, and it was Heatley that jumped in there on the rebound. Yuri Fisher came in to protect his territory after Heatley was real aggressive with Milan Hajduk. As you take a look at Thomas Vokoun, a shade under 3 is the goals against average, and a save percentage of under 90.
Puck on back for a toss to the net by Bouwmeester. Lob back ahead for the carry-on by Ruchinski. Out there with Milan Hajduk. Hajduk works the outside. Shots are 4-3, Czech Republic. Shoved off a bit was David Verborny. Puck to the point for a shot. Easy read there. Easy for us to say.
Yeah,
because he hasn't been living with the pressure. At least we haven't, but Roberto Luongo could not ignore. This is the nation. Gave birth to a sport, and they are perfect, and he has come right in at the last moment because the lead goaltender is hurt. If you want to avoid the spotlight, you don't put on the extra equipment, 25 pounds or so.
Well, that's why you practice hard, and that's why the pace of Team Canada's practice has been to make sure every goaltender has been prepared. You know, Doc, in the last 2 World Championships, Luongo has had experience against the Czech Republic, but he lost 6-2 in 04. He won 8-4 in 03. So he has experience there.
There is history, and a few of these guys have been involved with it. But it's out the window right now. Interesting, no score.
Well, is there a weakness on this Canada team? Up to this point in the tournament, there hasn't been any yet. But the Czech Republic think it just might be the young defenseman. That was Jay Bouwmeester we looked at. They've got a couple of other inexperienced defensemen with Blake out of the lineup, Pronger out of the lineup, McInnes out of the lineup. And what the Czech Republic is going to try and do is try to take advantage of the young, inexperienced defensemen on Team Canada and hope that they make mistakes. That's all they want to win, guys.
Shots are 6-3 in favor of the Czech Republic. A good one off that draw is held by the right-hand catching Vokoun.
Well, Jay Bouwmeester will play for Jacques Martin and the Florida Panthers, and he's a star. This kid can play, and he's played so well that, yes, Wade Redden could come back in the lineup after spraining his left shoulder, but they feel so comfortable and confident in this young group of defensemen.
A deep, deep team. Canada has been virtually flawless. They've given up 1 goal in 3 games, and the other was a shutout. That one went across the net mouth and can be carried right back out again by Robert Reichel. Pursues Bouwmeester. They cancel. Dopita came by but could not come up with it, and so it's Ryan Smith bringing it back ahead for the Canadians. That little lob is cut. Not much penetration at either end. Difficult to say who's had the better chances. Probably the Czech Republic on a couple. That was a 120-footer in on the goalkeeper, Luongo. Not a bad play if you're not getting many chances to begin with.
No, he's very calm, huh? Doesn't get very rattled with pucks lying around him. Shows great composure. And, Doc, what that does is that makes everybody else feel good. They feel composed then as well.
Centering pass. Oh, and Dona shot, and it's covered there by Vokoun.
Well, the chances on Vokoun have been low and along the ice. And I talked to Reggie Lemelin, who's the goaltending coach for Team Canada. They want to make it difficult for Thomas Vokoun around the post. They feel that paddle down isn't one of his strengths. He plays a little bit more of a hybrid style. He will butterfly. He will lean a little bit. He doesn't exactly, or hasn't exactly, perfected the paddle down theory just yet.
Wrist shot. Oh, and it went just wide from Niedermayer's stick. Picked up by Dopita. Under 8 minutes to go, first period. Milan Hajduk told Joe, the first thing, the most important thing is getting the first goal. It is not perfect in this tournament, but it's close to being perfect that you win if you get it. And that play broke down as Draper moved in.
Canada has not trailed in the World Cup. They've led for 174 minutes and 49 seconds. And I can't add very well, otherwise I'd add up what's been going on right now with 65 minutes and 11 seconds, Doc.
We have other people who can do that. We'll assign Randy Andrechu to that since he's up here. He has the calculator. We'll trust that. Away from Luongo it goes. 7 1/4 minutes to go. Shots are 6-5 in favor of the Czech Republic. Vaborny leads it ahead. Eliash's shot and getting a piece of it. And deflecting it up into the mesh was Luongo.
You are not going to beat the Montreal native Roberto Luongo up there high over the shoulder. It's not going to happen at 6'3", 210 pounds, and that's not the goaltending equipment that he's wearing to add on to that. It's hard to beat him up there. Good hard shot, and Elias has had success going high. And every time Elias has the puck in the NHL with the New Jersey Devils playing against Roberto Luongo, he fires the puck anywhere on the ice. Doc, you've seen that firsthand.
Yeah, there was a goal he scored last year from the end line in the left wing corner, banking it off Luongo. He's developed some confidence not only against him, but also some of the Panthers defensemen. And so sometimes he gets breakaways against them. You can't be rough on a goaltender if he gets a lot of those, can you?
No, and last year I saw very few of those going on Luongo. He was the runner-up for the Vezina Trophy, in which his teammate Marty Brodeur won for the 2nd straight year.
Angled in near him, and the paddle behind with 6 1/2 to go. Brought back ahead by Gagne. Laid back in, and Vokoun. Played away from Gagne. Well, carefully played, but not the same as the other semifinal last night, which saw very little in scoring opportunities. This one has got some hustle. It's got some spirit. As San Luis is up with it, lobs it back ahead for the carry-on by Richards. Richards taken to the ditch there by Reichel, and it's sent back out now for Hajduk. Milan Hajduk crisscrosses, turns it back over, and shouldered the glass was Chayanek. And a chance now for Canada, might be a 2-on-1, but hustling to catch up. Oh, and some great work done by Ruchinski, who caught up to Brad Richards. Now Richards turning. Fans thought there should have been a penalty. Gagne around behind. Credit to the referees. They are watching this one develop, and they are not calling anything unnecessarily because they've got so much speed to deal with. Around now at San Luis. Marty Brodeur is with us and will join us after the next commercial break. As shoved down is Brad Richards. So the genial goaltender who was supposed to play in this one but cannot because of an injury will be heard.
Well, it's great that Marty's taken the time to come join us. He's got so many fans all over the world, especially in the States. Everybody wants to know how that hand's feeling.
Here's Jágr flipping it on. Curling with it and holding is Marty Straka. Good shoulder on him. Now Niedermayer. Down goes Jágr on the lean of Regehr. Well, you tag the right guy. Regehr is the one who's dealing with Jágr a lot, especially right now. Around now it's Straka. Around to the front. Can't get a shot away. Heatley tapped it back to center and went to get it, but it's lobbed back along by Yuri Fischer, and play is stopped. No score. Roberto Luongo down in the cage, and joining us the guy who might have been there without the injury, Marty Brodeur. Thanks for joining us, Marty.
No problem.
Any further update on what's going on? We know you had MRIs today and they proved negative. What else?
You know, I'm feeling a little better. Hopefully, you know, we can go through the Czech Republic here tonight and be able to play for the final game. But again, you know, it's still sore for me, and like I said, it's really disappointing not to be here. But it gives a chance to Roberto Luongo to show his stuff out there.
Could you play if there was no one else around? If I was the only goalie here, Marty, could you play?
I would just Rupanger.
But I mean, is it that it's that much pain that I know it's your glove hand? I don't think people quite understand just how difficult it is to catch the puck and play the puck as well.
Well, you know, if I would be able to play, I would be in there. You know, I missed 4 games my whole career because of injury, so this is an important game. I would love to be part of it, but it's just if I'm not 100%, there's some goalies out there that are doing well for Canada, so I didn't want to jeopardize the chance to move to the finals here.
It was sort of an odd shot, wasn't it? Now, were you trying to get it up around your chest, and then at the last minute it knuckleballed, or what happened there?
No, I just tried to catch it. It was just kind of handcuffed me a little bit. It was a shot from almost the red line, and it just kind of curled in on me, and I just kind of hit bad part of my glove and just kind of jammed my wrist a little bit, and now everything's a little sprained. So, but nothing structurally is damaged, so hopefully that's going to heal quick enough for Tuesday.
Marty, there was no chance that there was a previous injury to this, is there?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It was just something new that I got.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to watch Roberto at all in this game, or did we corral you early here?
Well, you guys are the second TV spot I'm doing, but hopefully I'll be watching the rest of the game now.
Well, the good thing is he also he speaks French and English, so there'll probably be a third one. Marty, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Thanks, Mark. Marty Brodeur has joined us upstairs here, and here's a tip just wide of Luongo in the cage. He's back on his feet, is getting a piece of that and sending it just wide. Ruz Ruchinski. 3:05 to go, first period, and no score. Shots are 7-5, Czech Republic. Caberlet, crisply ahead. Pitchfork back in by Chayanik. To the bench he comes on another line change. Bouwmeester handed it across. That's the man Joe was talking about, that the Czech Republic thinks, because he hasn't played that much, young guy might be vulnerable. But now it's Regehr. Good challenge, though. Along comes Dvorak. Dvorak for the Czech Republic. On back to the wall. Marek Malik kept it in, but around it comes for Niedermayer. Niedermayer banged it ahead. Brought on by Ryan Smith, and a 3-on-2. Drops it back. Can't get it through. Lifted back off the short glass and out to center by Roman Hammerlich. And retrieved by Niedermayer. Scott Niedermayer glides ahead for Team Canada. The line out for the Czech Republic now is Prospal with Jágr on the right. And across on the left, it's Marty Straka wearing 28. Penguin fans and Kings fans are used to seeing him wear 82. Offside is called as Prospal was in.
Good neutral zone coverage there by Team Canada and by the Czech Republic. Let's go back, since we just left Marty, to the injury. Obsuda, the Slovakian team, fired it from way outside, and at the time, I said that really stung him, and that caught him off guard. Here's your typical glove. His is a CCM model. This piece on the thumb on the left-hand side is a one-piece plastic part. The cuff of it is very protective, and that's what makes it even more incredible that he has jammed the hand that way. And I was talking to him about a ulnar nerve injury that I had in junior hockey, and it sounds very similar to the pain that he's going through right now. Pain in the elbow, the fingers closing, the strength in the hand. So obviously an unfortunate time into this injury. Well, it didn't mean anything either, Doc. There was only 5 minutes left in the game, and they were smoking Slovakia.
Yeah. Isn't that the way it often happens, though?
Yeah.
Ahead now, it is the Czech Republic injured back up the ice is Thornton, just now getting back into the play and wants to pay somebody for what happened to him. But now it's Draper, and it's taken right away by Caberlet at the end of Draper's shift. Played to center. Prospal led it ahead. Controlled there. Jágr moving on. Jágr waits and shoots one. Save made by Luongo, and he holds
positioning by Luongo. And that's classic Roberto right there. Jágr thought he had something between the legs after he made a great pull-up move at the right face-off circle. Jágr's a left-hand shot. When he gets this puck here at the face-off circle, he stops, pulls up. Now he's on his strong side. It creates a way better scoring angle. And with traffic in front of the net, Luongo not only makes a save off one of the most prolific scorers in NHL history, no rebound whatsoever. Great save.
We have noticed Jágr out there, and once they get attack going, here's another chance, and Luongo stopped that, and the loose puck came away. Patrick Elias has come out on the left wing. That's happened twice. Here's a drive that's blocked down by Joe Sakic and started ahead from Lemieux to Sakic to Lemieux. The big drive, and it is held by Vokoun, but called back on an offside.
Barely offside. Barely offside.
David Amber, Barry Melrose, gentlemen.
All right, first intermission coming your way in just a matter of moments. Barry, right now, Czech Republic matching Canada hit for hit, shot for shot.
But again, you hit and you finish your checks and you play aggressive in the first period in order to make those advantages in the third period. So it's typical Canada hockey. I think both teams are playing great. All right, we'll go around the world in sports coming up in the first intermission. Back to you guys.
Okay, a giveaway, and a wrist shot is knocked down by the defense as Caberlet got in the way of the shot from McGinley. Lemieux, a shot knocked down out in front again. Oh, and a sprawling save made by Vokoun. Remarkable play in the goal crease for the Czech Republic. It is Lemieux laying it back ahead. It's brushed away from McGinley by Marek Malik. Lobbed ahead and darting after it is Milan Hajduk. One-time 50-goal scorer, curls the net and looks. Hajduk sent it in front, and it escaped to the corner. Luczynski up with it there. Onto the back now for a shot by Hammerlich that is held by Luongo. With 11.1 to go.
There has been times in the past where the Czech Republic have not been the best conditioned team. Watching their last two practices, everything was up-tempo. They got backside pressure. They're playing with a system. They're not just playing as individuals. That's what's making it difficult for Team Canada on those second efforts. This is the first play right here. Mario with the puck. The first one blocked. The second one went through. And a good save by Vokoun with the blocker hand, which is his left hand.
Shots are 10-6 Czech Republic. One last one on Vokoun, who had one late tough save to make. But we have seen 20 minutes come and go here between the Czech Republic and Team Canada. There is no score at the end of the first 20. You consider the history, and you consider what's at stake. A deceased coach, the pride of a nation. Czech Republic against Canada, scoreless after one.
Welcome to the ESPN studios. Barry Melrose, David Amber. Hard hitting, a lot of skating, but not a lot of scoring, Barry. Advantage Czech Republic, advantage Canada.
No, I think it was a wash. I think both teams had chances. I think both teams had spurts. I think both teams looked good at times in a couple breakdowns. But what I noticed, the two best players on the ice, Mario Lemieux for Canada, Jaromír Jágr for Czech Republic. Can you imagine at Pittsburgh with these two superstars on it, only won 2 Stanley Cups? That team should have won 5 Stanley Cups. Jágr looks great. He looks really motivated. He looks fired up. Lemieux is awesome. I cannot believe how well Mario Lemieux is playing. Let's just hope he continues to play 4 more years. He looks so good.
Barry, as far as the goaltending matchup, Roberto Luongo, this guy led the NHL in saves last year. He saw more rubber than a tire factory. How's he look so far through one for you?
He looks great, and he's had the tougher saves because his saves have been really in tight. Jágr made a couple great saves, plays on him. Hajduk's made a couple good plays. A lot of pucks right in front of him. Vokoun shots have been through traffic. They were NHL shots, but Luongo saw a lot of talented men with great plays in front of him, so I really like the way Luongo's playing. Canada's got to get more pucks at Vokoun and start winning those physical battles down low the way Canadians play.
One guy who knows to get the puck to the net is Patrick Elias.
Oh, yeah.
5 straight 28-goal seasons. He's standing by with our Joe Micheletti.
No score after the first period. Patrick Elias, what did you think of the pace of that period?
Well, it was a pretty good one. You know, it's up and down. Obviously, every one of the guys are trying to be a little more careful. But, you know, we create a couple of good opportunities and playing hard. And I thought it was a good period for us.
I know going into this game, one of the things that your team wanted to do was forecheck, put pressure on. Did you do that enough?
Yeah, I think so. Especially what we wanted to do is not to lose too many pucks on the blue lines. You know, because we know that they have such a great counter-attack and they have great guys with a lot of speed. So we got to be careful on that. And we did that pretty well. Just got to back each other up a little more and try to get a traffic in front of their goalie.
Yeah, speaking of goaltenders, your teammate in New Jersey, Marty Brodeur, not playing in this one. Roberto Luongo in. What are you doing differently, if anything?
Nothing. There's, you know, any goalie that's going to be playing in this tournament is a top goalie, and you know, obviously he deserves to be here, and he's getting his chance, and you know, he had a great season last year, and we know that he's a scramble. He never gives up on any play. So, like I said, we just got to get a lot of shots and get the traffic in front of him.
Appreciate your time. Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, you see Elias, we've seen Duke, Yager, they've all hoisted the Stanley Cup. Confidence a role in this?
Confidence. They're great players. They know they're great players. They won the Olympic gold the time before Canada, so this team has had success internationally. But they're a very big team. That's one of the things that other teams don't match up against Canada's size. This team can match up. You got a lot of guys. Fisher's huge, Malik's huge, Yager's huge. Very big team, as big as Canada.
Size does matter, especially in these types of tournaments, in these types of games. Barry Melrose will always tell you that. They say the only thing harder than winning a championship is repeating, and the USA proved that last night. Tough, hard loss to Finland in their semifinal game from St. Paul, Minnesota. 2-1 was the final. If you missed the game, which we had right here on ESPN2, so a quick look at the highlights from last night's game. And the U.S. started out the scoring. Scotty Gomez, a great look to Dougie Waite. First goal of the tournament. 1-0 USA.
I think Scotty Gomez is one of America's best players, and he's one of the rare young players. And this guy can see the puck very well, see the ice very well. Dougie Waite makes a great timing play coming in from the point. But that was the problem in the United States. They tried to sit on that lead and win a 1-0. From then, the Finns continued to attack right here, just a scramble in front. Went on Jokinen Stick, who's one of the elite young goal scorers in the NHL with the Florida Panthers. A lot of Florida Panthers in these World Championships. And right here, the winning goal. Poor defense by the United States in front of the net. You don't give Koivu 2 chances at the corner. Koivu puts it in for the winning goal.
So Canada, perfect 4-0. Finland, 4-0-1. The only 2 unbeaten teams in this tournament. Finland looking very good. They couldn't repeat. The U.S. No longer the World Cup champions. At least they won't be as of Tuesday. And, of course, they were a little downcast after the game.
It's very disappointing for all of us. I mean, you know, we felt we had a good chance to win. We were kind of hitting stride and you know, playing a good team game and doing all the things we were supposed to be doing. And, you know, it came down to a matter of a couple bounces. So it's, you know, it's a real letdown.
Barry, if you could put it into words, what went wrong for Team USA?
Well, too old, too small, not enough young guys, not big enough. If you look at the defenses in today's game, the Czechs and Canada, both giant defenses, a lot of 6'4", 6'5", 6'3" guys. The Americans do not have those type of defensemen. Leach is small, Rafalski small. Chelios, who announced that he will not play any more international games with the United States, is small. They do not have big defensemen that can match the size of the other team's forwards. They do not have any young forwards coming up that are great players. Gomez maybe is the only one. They got to retool this team. They got to get some young players in the lineup. They got to get some hungry, talented, fast-skating forwards in the lineup. The one thing that the United States should be happy about is their goaltending situation. DiPietro proved he can play at this level. Esch certainly proved he can play at this level. So there are some positive things, but they got to get younger. They got to find some young talent on the American side.
19 skaters on the U.S. roster, 30 years of age or older. We do have some other news to tell you about, and it's not great news. The CBA, of course, set to expire midnight on Tuesday, and right now they're at a major impasse. The owners have rejected the NHLPA's latest counter proposal, which did not include a salary cap. No meetings are scheduled, and it does definitely look like a lockout is looming.
I said it yesterday. I think these two teams determined a year ago that they were going to go do this. They were going to be a work stoppage. Both Gary Bettman and Bob Goodenow want to win. They feel they have to win. I don't think there's been a lot of good faith negotiations on either side. The players don't believe the owners' figures. The owners were very unhappy with the agreement they agreed with in '94. I think there's problems, and I think this is a nasty long-term lockout right now.
Well, it could be a long, very cold winter for hockey fans across North America.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. And Samuel Adams. When you're ready for a distinctive brew, Samuel Adams, always a good decision.
No carryover penalties nor power plays. No penalties in the first period at all, as Wayne Gretzky, the executive director of Team Canada, and Kevin Lowe, a part of the Brain Trust, looking down on this here. Jaromir Jagr had 6 even-strength shifts. Thornton and Draper were out for 5 of them. Regier and Niedermeyer for 6. Joe Sakic, 7 even-strength shifts. Caberlet and Spacek were out on defense for 6 of those. So the coaches are doing a good job of getting their men out there that they want to cancel out the opposition. Chris Draper shoved down a couple of times, continues to work. Gave it up, though, to Vinny Prospal. Then it's fed back out for a shot by Doan that saved. Rebound! Oh, and hanging on to it and ever sharp in the first half minute is Vokoun. Let's check in with Joe Micheletti.
Okay, Doc, this is the 3-year anniversary of 9/11. And it was Wayne Gretzky, the person you just showed, that came up with the idea to have a moment of silence before the game and to have his team wear those patches, 9/11, as a tribute to all those victims. And a couple people in particular, Ace Bailey on the left, Mark Bavis on the right, were scouts for the LA Kings, but it was Ace Bailey, and I was a teammate of Ace in Edmonton in the World Hockey Association when our team acquired Wayne Gretzky, just an 18-year-old at the time, and Ace Bailey invited him into his house and became his mentor and his great friend. And that's why Wayne came up with the ideas. Great job by Wayne. Guys?
Wayne has vision not only on the ice, but boy, does he see things clearly off the ice around him as well. A great gesture. And his daughter, Paulina Gretzky, did a wonderful job with the national anthem before this game.
It's always interesting to hear that in Canada because whether there's musical accompaniment or not, virtually everyone in the crowd sings, right? All right, to the outside now, it is the Czech Republic in this semifinal. Winner goes on to play Finland, loser is done. Shot is turned aside by Luongo. Joe Sakic turned it along. Kept alive by Caberlet. Caberlet wrist one, and that one skipped wide, glancing off David Vaborny of the Czech Republic. Vaborny again. Good protection. Drive by Elias, and getting a piece of that was Luongo.
That was a tough save because his own defenseman, Adam Foote, screened him. Adam Foote went right in his line of vision.
Elias again to the back. Caberlet a shot. Save Luongo. And taken by Aginla. Jerome Aginla back for Canada. Canada with the first good thrust of the period, but now Czech Republic coming back with a couple of its own.
Canada now realizes that they are not going to get any freebies in terms of odd man breaks. The back checking of the Czech Republic has been very impressive in this game.
Trianic had it back. Caberlet lays it across. Sent out by Malik. Lobbed ahead through Ruchinski. Chased down again by Canada. San Luis with the little tap. The take by Scott Hannon. San Jose Sharks defenseman had it tubbed away by Trianic. Walled by Bouwmeester. Gagne quickly to San Luis. Some good checking by the Czech Republic here. Good shoulders. Following through on everything. Moving back now and trying to get by his Hayduk. Canceled right out by Hannon and held to the wall. Good defensive responsibility by Team Canada. Gagne gets it back to center. Protected by Richards, could not reconnect with Gagne, and again it goes back into Canada's end.
And we're seeing Scotty Hannon on a real big level here. But for those of us in the San Jose Sharks, they saw him last year in the playoff series against Colorado go head-to-head with Forsberg and Hayduk and had no problems whatsoever. This guy's a gamer.
It is handed across now for Hammerlich. Tried to connect ahead, but an offside pass. Robert Reichel.
Well, Reichel's goaltender, Thomas Vokoun, made a couple of big saves to begin this second period. And again, the first goal of the game is so important, and you see the urgency. Good hard work in the corner by Chris Draper of the Red Wings and Joe Thornton as well. Doan had the original shot. The rebound went right on the doorstep to Thornton. Thornton's little backhander right here. And Vokoun really jammed it up against the left side of his body with no rebound.
The first time ever on the Czech national team. Hasek and Czechmanek and Roman Turek seemed to get all of the assignments whenever the big tournaments came around, but this guy has really been impressive in these last 2 games when he's had some help. A block out in front. Dvorak couldn't get free with it. Sent on back to the point. Very conservatively there. Canada moves in, and it's Regier. Held up to the wall. Good battling there. Taken away by Straka. Down to the ice. He goes hook one in. Oh, what a save! And then Dopita shoved it wide. Rebound came out in front. The first one stopped by Luongo, and the second one went wide. It's played back in for Heatley, and coming out is Vokoun. And he plays it along once more for Spacek. Oh, here comes Jagr. And he deals it back in, and comes the Canadians, I should say, come to the bench for a change in line. Jagr will stay out there with Prospal and Straka. No change there. Straka tries to work it in Canuck. Gets it back again and tries for Prospel. That was hung up in the linesman's skates. A break there as the pass came across but off Jager's stick. Jager taken to the boards with authority and a little extra hitting along the boards, but we get a whistle and stoppage of play.
Well, Dopita did not have an illustrious National Hockey League career when many expected him to, but here he has a very good chance. He wears number 30 for the Czech Republic. He's sneaking to the left side right there. A good save straight ahead by Luongo, and then Luongo was very fortunate. It looked like the rebound just went wide. This caught everybody off guard. There's the first save, and the second one, man, there was some open net on the short side, and I have noticed that the Czech Republic are trying to get Roberto Luongo off the post and banking it in off his body.
Now, earlier you noticed that they were trying for his glove side with long ones.
I think they thought it was Marty in the net and he had a sore hand. Wrong guy.
Cut off by Draper. And dealt back in. Vaucoon paddles it further. Caberlet was there, but darting by was Shane Doan, though he misfired for Joe Thornton. Now Draper, locked up, outletted by Prospel. Away from Straka, though. And again, Team Canada in the red with the black. Able to step ahead. Brought on for a big drive by Draper, and that one just sealed up by Vaucoon, and a little bump on him by Doan. Tuesday, ESPN2's coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey culminates with the final game as Team Finland meets either Canada or the Czech Republic in the championship game. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey on ESPN2 Tuesday at 7 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
Canada's dominated on the faceoffs. They were 13-3 wins versus losses in the first period, Doc.
Got that one too. Fed across. Twisting backhander was off the mark by Sakic. Stashed in front but picked up by Patrick Elias. Moves back out and lays it up the wing. Carried back in by Havlat. Crosses backhander is spiked away by the goal stick of Luongo. And it sailed all the way back down for an icing touch-up. So the probing continues. Entertaining game here, though scoreless. Shots are 15-10, Czech Republic.
There's the big line that combined for 8 points against Slovakia. Joe Sakic trying a quick spin-around backhand pass. Mario Lemieux battling behind the net. Marty Havlat of the Ottawa Senators with a nifty little move. And he just gets an innocent-looking backhand shot on that one right there. Havlat last year had a career year offensively. Even though he only played 68 games, he scored 31 goals for Ottawa.
Here is Malik, and that one nubbed down by Elias and tapped away again by the big goal stick of Luongo. Fed to the back, but another shot had to be waffle-boarded away by Luongo from Roman Hammerly. Trickles on back. More attack from the Czech Republic. Marek Malik put it behind. Yanked around by Regier, taken by Mario Lemieux. Lemieux gives to Niedermayer. Could not beat Straka on the one-on-one battle. I beg your pardon, Elias. And so it is laid back ahead, but off Iginla. Crisper passes right now, and greater fluidity, it seems, in wanting to get done what they are trying to do when they enter the zone belongs to the Czech Republic.
Well, the key is both teams can counter very well, so you can't turn the puck over in the neutral zone. That would result in odd man breaks.
Gagne sealed up by Ruchinski. Coming by is Richards. Brad Richards to the back, held there by Brewer. The crowd yelling shoot. Around the wall it's sent. Canada readying one more thrust if they can get a pass completed. Brad Richards got it back from San Luis and he twirls. Richards has a man in front and it's sent wide as creeping in was Brewer. And it's lobbed back ahead. Brewer hustles right back on defense.
That play looked a lot like the great pass from Scotty Gomez to Doug Waite last night in the first goal against the Finnish team.
Here is Foote, lobbing it back in once more. 27 shots have been fired total. None have gone in yet. Lobbed around behind, San Luis with it. Look for Richards. San Luis with a feed in front. Oh, and fanning on it, Bouwmeester. Darting away as Marty Straka picks up Jager's the trailer. Straka holds, hands on to Jager. Jager with a shot, and it's held by Luongo. Tremendous goalkeeping here. 18 shots at one end, 10 at the other, and both of these guys have been flawless.
Jaromir Jagr of the New York Rangers has 13 consecutive 30-goal seasons. That's tied for second all-time. Here's a nifty little move on the outside, and boy, when this guy wants to play, there's very few that are as dangerous as Jaromir Jagr. Then Bo Mister of the Florida Panthers jumps in. He thinks he's got one here with some great work down low by Martin St. Louis, but that's the bounce over the stick that resulted in the opportunity from Jaromir Jagr.
Bo Mister was not as lucky in getting back. Puck sailed into the seats right off the faceoff, as Eric Brewer was earlier when he pinched in and nearly got a good chance.
Yeah, I like the way the defense are trying to be active. The all-time record is 15 years of 30 or more goals by Mike Gartner, who's now with the NHLPA. So Jagr tied Hull, Esposito, and Gretzky.
And Mike is here tonight. Sure is. Far from us. Spot check for the Czech Republic. Lemieux knocked it down. Joe Sakic trying to get loose. Got it back over to Lemieux. In front again. It went off his stick wide. Fired back around and tipped back to center. Crowd buzzing with that Canada thrust. 12:20 to go, second period, and still no score. Vokoun gave it up to Lemieux, and Vokoun got his stick in the way. Brought out by Elias and dropped to no one in particular. And then a healthy hit on Iginla, and that came from Vaborny.
You know, Canada's passes are just off the mark. You notice that? Just off the end of the stick, just in the feet. They're not quite clicking just yet.
Might be a chance for Sakic. Catching up Caberlet. It's over to Smith, and the shot was tipped wide by Spacek. Around for Ryan Smith, and Caberlet on him. To the outside, Heatley. A little twisting turnaround try by LeCavalier went to the corner. Played on back to the point, now to Regier. Wrist one, and that one is grabbed off and cleared back out once again. A clean, hard-played game. Icing is called. Paul Dvorsky and Steve Walkham have called no penalties and have made good decisions.
Yes, they have. The game's been played very well. Ryan Smith had a good chance just moments ago. Here's the play that I'm talking about. All passes just slightly off the mark. Again, here on the forecheck, causing the turnover with Spacek. That's how you get chances in front of the net. And this pass is just in his feet. It caromed off his left skate blade and then beyond his stick blade, so he's unable to get a shot on goal.
Czech Republic brings it ahead. They have outshot Team Canada 18-11 in the game. Centering pass in front is covered by Gagne as Luongo was moving back into position. Gagne moves in. Then San Luis tries for Richards, but it's whacked away to the half boards and eventually can be held and set up on the backhand by Niedermayer. Up for grabs and turning with it is Gagne. Shuttles it off. San Luis, oh, in front, Niedermayer. Just defended at the last moment. Couldn't get a good shot away. And back comes the Czech Republic with a toss back in. That's skated down by Dvorak, but first gotten by Niedermayer. Help came from Regier. Not able to clear out. Zidlitsky kept play alive. Niedermayer around behind. To a side to the corner. Peeling off is Gagne in case it comes to him. It exactly does. And it's fed back up to Richards. Moves out with Marty San Luis. Two Tampa Bay Lightning Stars. Twisting with it, they connect again. San Luis stashed it in. Zidlitsky played it out. Chayanik sets it up. Carried back in by Ruchinski. Chayanik, a shot. Went off a leg. Started back by Iginla. Breakaway pass. Lemieux coming in, and it's thrown back out again by Vokoun, who challenged and whipped it away.
What a read by Vokoun. That's when you know you're sharp, especially when it's 66 that's just in reach with his long stick.
Ahead now, it's Chayanik, and a kick save is made in front by Luongo. Now it's yanked to the front, cut off there. Racing out Team Canada's Jarome Iginla. Iginla curls in, shoots one, and that one kicked aside. Yuri Fisher got a piece of that one. These two teams with such glorious history. The Olympic champs from '98 in Nagano, the Czech Republic, and the Olympic champs from Salt Lake in '02, Canada. No score in the game past the halfway mark of regulation time. And an icing touch-up. Mario Lemieux did have a chance, but just couldn't quite get there ahead of Vokoun. Still scoreless.
Well, Mario Lemieux had a chance with this pass from Jarome Iginla, just off the blade of his stick, off the heel, and he just can't catch up to it. I think the last thing he was expecting with his head down was Vokoun coming out. It reminded me a little bit of 1992, the Stanley Cup Finals in Chicago Stadium, when Jaromir Jagr had a chance, fed it to Stevens. Remember, the puck was rolling over Stevens, and Dominic Hasek came in relief of Eddie Belfour and did the same thing, but he charged at him. But that one clearly caught Mario off guard, and he looked a little frustrated at the bench in between the whistles and the stoppage of the play.
Eberle back to get this for the Czech Republic. Turns. It is lost there. Gagne trying to get by. Cannot. Played back ahead and out to center where Adam Foote takes over. Then on to Brewer. Pitched it back in. Not much dump and chase working there. Prospel trying to motor ahead. Cannot, just cut off by Draper. Laid on for Brewer. Responsibly up now to Thornton, and Thornton in a duel pops one ahead that is corralled and started right back by the Czech Republic, but lost by Jágr. Right back in comes Thornton, sets it up for Shane Doan. Doan's pass is taken by Thornton. Around behind is Draper, looks to the front, Brewer scores!
Was a result of great calmness with the puck. This line slowed things down and made simple plays. Little give and goes, and at the end, you get the other team with their backs against the wall. You end up can't find the late man coming in, and it's Eric Brewer that jumps into play. Doan's pass here to Thornton, very simple. Nice call play to Draper, who finds Brewer right on the doorstep, and Prospel doesn't have his man. He's on the wrong side of the puck, and what a feed by Draper, right between the heel of the stick of the goaltender Vokoun and the post, and Brewer jumps right in there. This is huge.
No chance for Vokoun, but in comes Elias. Then it's Vaborny, a shot that's saved in front by Luongo. What a stop. The Czech Republic came right back with authority and nearly tied the game. Again, feathers it on through Bouwmeester, but it is called back. We get an offside call.
Well, the first goal of this tournament has been so crucial. The only team that lost was Team USA last night against that tough Finnish squad. But the team scoring first are 15-1-1. Many of the players know the stats, but they know with two teams as strong as this, that it may not matter. This is the chance right after that, where Vaborny is right on the doorstep. Sakic's with him, but not quite on top of him. And Luongo made it with his left shoulder. What a save.
Eric Brewer, 25 years of age from Vernon, British Columbia, gets the first goal of this game from Draper and Thornton at 11:15 elapsed time in the second period. And on ahead now comes Richards. Richards, a shot blocked away. Richards after it, tangles with Ruchinski at the half boards. It's dug out by Ruchinski and fed just away from Havlik. Niedermeyer down to touch that up for an icing. Under 8 minutes to go here in the second, and Canada has struck first.
What this may do now is calm everybody down in terms of the Canadian team. I think the Czech Republic squad, they're handling the puck with a great deal of calmness. There's been a little bit of jitterness there with the Canadians in terms of how they're making passes. This was the calmest example that we've seen in this game, and it results in a huge goal. Chris Draper was flying that whole shift. He was a buzzsaw.
Joe Thornton got possession when Jágr was trying to get his way from him. Thornton broke up that play, got possession, eventually was able to see Draper behind. Draper moved right behind the net. And then could feed in front and down to the ice for Team Canada's Le Cavalier, and the first power play of the game is coming up.
That is tremendous speed through the neutral zone, and when you have that kind of speed and you're trying to hold the blue line as the defensive team or a defenseman, you end up standing still. And if a player makes a quick shift to one side, you've got to kind of stick out your leg and trip him out. And there it is from behind. Basically, Fisher corkscrewed him. He had the shaft of his stick between the legs, so as the forward Le Cavalier was turning over to his right, he gets corkscrewed, and naturally you're going to get tripped up. That's a good call by the official.
In the tournament, Canada is 3 for 17 on its power play. The Czech Republic has killed off a little under 3/4. Not a good penalty killing percentage for them, but much of that occurred in the early stages of the tournament when they were losing. Against Sweden, in the game that brought them across the Atlantic, they killed off 6 of 7, much better. And they clear this one back down. Just over 7 minutes to go, second period. The loser of this game is done. The winner moves on Tuesday to play Finland for the championship.
Interesting that Mario's line's not starting the power play.
He's on the second wave, we assume.
Yep.
Niedermeyer to Thornton. Back in deep, Heatley out in front. It's tipped away from McGinley. Niedermeyer wrist shot deflected. It went just wide. As at the front of the cage, Sakic got a tip on it. Now it's Heatley to the outside. Pestered from behind and worked over there by Rucinski. It's worked back in deep and then on to the point to Niedermayer. Hands on to Joe Sakic. Back to Niedermayer again. Halfway through the power play. Iginla looking. Niedermayer slamming one that ricocheted back out. That will give Canada a chance to make a change.
There they roll. And I'm sure Richards will now man the point on this second unit when Sakic comes off.
Sakic trickles it behind, a feed in front, and little trouble there. Sakic with it again. Pass in front. Oh, and Vaborny is able to swing it back out to center. Ooh, down to the last half minute. As of right now on this power play.
I think Danny Heatley, who plays for the Atlanta Thrashers, I think he's a player to watch here. He's getting better as it goes on. He had 2 shots in the first period.
Elias trickles it back in on the penalty kill that's got 20 to go. The first power play of the game, and nearly a giveaway by Niedermayer to Elias. Now it's lobbed ahead, and here comes Lemieux. Lemieux feeds one in front, chopped on goal, save, good rebound in front. Oh, and that one didn't get another try. They score! Mario Lemieux, 2-0 Canada.
Oh, this place is jumping here in Toronto. Vokoun got himself running around the net, moving side to side. Eventually, it's an empty netter from Mario Lemieux. Tremendous work down low, causing havoc in the Czech Republic zone. Mario starts it with a nice pass to Lecavalier. There's the first save, and by the time the puck is moved around, the goaltender Vokoun is nearly turned around, and Mario catches him on the short side with an empty netter.
First one of the tournament. Last season, he went 6 empties and then had 4 empties here. It is not often in his career that he's gone that long without a goal, but he has cashed in for the first time. Brewer run into with authority. So the 38-year-old and the 25-year-old. Lemieux second, Brewer first have the goals. A backhander went wide. A try by Rucinski. Press is Hayduk. Held there by his teammate in Colorado, Adam Foote. Turning with it again is Chianik trying to shake free. After him is Foote again. A little pick on Foote. Chianik fed one, score! It's 2-1. Well, just under 5 minutes to go in the second period, and the Czech Republic has struck Peter Chianik.
Roberto Luongo was moving to his right because that's where the pass was intended to. But it deflected off someone in front of the net and went between the legs. The goaltender's now going to move to the right. It went off the defenseman Adam Foote. Inadvertently, he's just trying to get position. There's no chance for Adam Foote to get out of the way. The goaltender's shifting to his right, knowing that Hammerlick, the defenseman, has jumped in from the left point. It's a fluky play, but a smart one by Chianik of the St. Louis Blues to get that puck on net.
His first goal of the tournament at 15:07 of the second. And so the lead has been cut in half. Niedermayer there, shoveled it out to center. Czech Republic gave it up. Iginla brings it in, drops to Lemieux, fed for Iginla, hit. And that forced it wide as Jágr nudged him down. And then it's at the side of the net and loose and eventually grabbed and held by Vokoun. It was scoreless at the end of the first period, but boy, did it ever change midway in the second. First, a celebration from Eric Brewer, and another one that came from the 38-year-old youngster named Lemieux.
Well, Mario Lemieux scored a power play goal. Just 4 seconds left in the power play, and his first goal in his last 13 Canada World Cup hockey games, which actually that should be the regular season. And so for Mario, that comes off the rebound attempt. Lecavalier and Brad Richards get assists on that goal, made it 2-0. But then with 3 goals in 3 minutes and 52 seconds, Chianik scores to make it 2-1. And remember, we mentioned that Lemieux was on the second part, the second wave of that power play. Ends up being pretty good that way, because your first penalty killing unit is usually your strongest. You send Mario out there, and the second unit of the Czech Republic got running around.
It was about 90 minutes ago that some of you, if you were watching right at the start of the show, got to see the handoff to Lemieux from Wayne Gretzky in the 1987 Canada Cup as called by the legendary Dan Kelly. And Mario Lemieux, at age 38, may be playing his last game for Canada, or may at least be playing in his last tournament for Canada, because the Olympics he'll be 40. Sunday Night Football kicks off Sunday at 8:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. Division rivals meet for their first game of the season, setting the tone of who's the boss in that AFC West. Priest Holmes, Dante Hall, and the Kansas City Chiefs face Champ Bailey, Jake Plummer, and the Denver Broncos live from Mile High Stadium. Chiefs Broncos also available in high def on ESPN HD. Call your cable operator, DirecTV, or the Dish Network today. Coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern with NFL Primetime. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. A feed in front, and Iginla cannot get it. So now Zidlitsky. Dvorak, and yanked back out. The Chianik goal came from Milan Hajduk and Martin Ruchinski at 15:07. 3 goals in 3 minutes and 52 seconds. 22-14 the shots. It's played in on goal, and Vokoun with another stop as gliding at the lip of the crease was Iginla. Now Caberlet. Crisply a pass ahead. Brought on by Ruchinski. Ruchinski is shot, and that one is held by Luongo. Samuel Adams, quite a statesman and a very good logger, is now entitled to present to you the World Cup update. Finland defeated the United States 2-1 in semifinal number 1. The championship game will feature Finland against either the Czech Republic or Canada. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN2. Puck to the back now. A drive by Spacek is just deflected away, and a good hit by Spacek on Gagne right at the Czech bench.
And Bouwmeester did an excellent job in front of the net on Chianik to eliminate him from any rebound attempt.
Haberle knocked that one down, used his stick to try to slow things further. Did so apparently legally. Around behind the net, a little pass. It's handled by Ruchinski. Appears to be near the end of his shift as he goes wide on the pass ahead to Robert Reichel. Yep, they're coming to the bench for a change. Under 3 minutes to go, second period. We hope you're enjoying this one. We sure are, from Air Canada Centre in Toronto. 2-1 in favor of Team Canada. Now it's sent out by Dopita. Bounces over to Eric Brewer, who brought this crowd to its feet. Or maybe not the first time of the night. There have been some tremendous saves by Luongo and also by Vokoun. And a terrific chance that Mario Lemieux looked like he might get before Vokoun denied him past the hash marks. And they were both coming in different directions for a loose puck. Now Ryan Smith got it only as far as center. Corralled there by Havlat. Heatley after it, but Havlat denies him. Marek Malik trying to play further. Got help from Havlat, and they just play it to the safety of center. A little over 2 minutes to go. Shots are 24-15 Czech Republic. 14 in this period for them and 8 for Canada. Moving in is Brewer. Lobs one in front off a leg. Brewer reaching again, but patrolling is Roman Hammerlich, and he shifts from defense to offense and flung one off Prosper. Dealt back near the bench in the midst of a change was Canada.
Wow, I thought they had too many men on the ice. You got to give credit to Vladimir Ruzicka and the Czech Republic. Even after Eric Brewer scored to make it 1-0, goaltender Roberto Luongo had to make a magnificent save in front of the net. Then Lemieux scored to make it 2-0. The place is going nuts, but they come back with Peter Chianik scoring to make it a 2-1 hockey game, putting pressure again on Team Canada.
Ruzicka, the captain of that 98 gold medal winning Olympic team in Nagano, coached by Ivan Halinka. Rattled around for the Czech Republic again. Lobbed out by Marty Straka. The bouncer is flung right back again by Regier, and it will go down for another icing. Let's check in with the studio now. David Amber and Barry Melrose. Gentlemen, what have you?
All right, Canada, 2-1 lead, not sitting on that lead, though.
Well, they did for a little while, and it cost them with that goal by Chianik. Canada must attack. You see the chances, defenseman jumping in from the point, get it in the check end, make those guys play defense. You haven't heard much of Yager since he has to check a little bit.
College football upsets coming your way in the second intermission. Back to the ACC.
Play back in, and once again, we're going to have another icing. So we're down to the last 78 seconds of this period. Ruzicka was a member of the Edmonton Oilers, as well as the Boston Bruins, Ottawa Senators, 233 NHL games.
Well, he's had to make hard decisions, and that's what coaching's all about. He made Milan Hajduk a healthy scratch. He's made more changes on this roster. Only 8 players have been in the lineup for all 5 Czech games. I mean, that was a rude wake-up call for these players that have always had it their way. A tough one for them.
There would be that perception, I guess, that the guy who, in a lot of cases, was a teammate of yours in '98 might go a little easy on some of the older guys.
Yeah, you'd think that way. So that means he's got a career in coaching. He doesn't care what people think.
That's right. Oh, Zidlitsky. Run off with authority by Shane Doan. Draper, Niedermeyer, Draper. Oh, he tried to pass in front, and Zidlitsky got back without a stick on defense and blocked it with his skate. To the last 40 of the period. Jostled is Thornton. Tries to get away. Cannot do it just yet as Vinny Prospal was on him, but it's trickled back down to be collared there by Hannon. Both teams are making complete changes right now as Hannon dropped this one back in and looks for a change himself. Meanwhile, it's Caberlet sending it around behind in the last 20 seconds of the period. A turnover there. And some dogged work by Baborny as it's played into his goaltender Vokun, who will hang on with 14.3 to go in this period.
So with the way Canada's winning faceoffs, they could have a good scoring chance here. In the meantime, Shane Doan of the Phoenix Coyotes, and he played in the All-Star game last year. What a hit at the blue line. Zidlitsky got caught with his head down, and Zidlitsky's a fine offensive player, but that's a good hit by Shane Doan. I mean, Zidlitsky, when you think about it, he's got 3 goals in this tournament, one shy of the record set by Boreas Salming for a defenseman in 1976.
The interesting thing, too, is that it's not always the biggest scorers or the best star players that are picked for a national team. In the case of Draper, though he had a wonderful year and was the Selke Trophy nominee, and also the Selke Trophy winner, and also Shane Doan, you add that to guys like this that can shoot your lights out.
That's exactly right. That's what Wayne Gretzky and Team Canada have done. They've incorporated the team concept, where guys fit in. And knowing that if there are going to be any injuries, you can't always rely on, as you said, the Sakic's and the Mario Lemieux. You've got to have guys that can play their role and are going to check their egos at the door. They've done a nice job at that.
40 minutes played. Brewer and Lemieux for Canada. Chyanek for the Czech Republic, and the difference is just 1. The world's skill guys from Canada and the Czech Republic, 40 minutes of pounding. And this is still up for grabs, just a 1-goal game after 2.
(2-1) Canada through 40 minutes at the Air Canada Centre. Mario Lemieux, 683 career NHL goals. Eric Brewer, just 34 career NHL goals, but he got Canada on the board. He's standing by with Joe Micheletti.
Eric Brewer got Team Canada going with a goal. Did you feel, because the game was scoreless, that as a defenseman you wanted to get more aggressive?
I think we need to pick our chances. Turnovers are going to be a big key in this game. It just seemed like I had a few openings towards the second half of the second period there, and I think in the end we need to make a push of some sort, but not over aggressive.
You know, there's a lot of veteran defensemen out of the lineup for Team Canada. You're one of the young guys. Have you felt more pressure this year?
I don't think so. I think everyone plays a lot, and we've all been given an opportunity to play. So I think with that, you can take a little comfort and just continue forward.
Third period, up by a goal. What kind of style of play will you play?
We're going to try and be as aggressive as we can. We don't want to let off. If we give those guys any more space than we're given, they're going to make some plays out there.
Thanks for the visit. Good luck.
Thanks.
Barry Melrose and David Amber, you heard Eric Brewer say they're going to try and be aggressive. If you're Pat Quinn, are you saying be aggressive?
Totally. You cannot sit back with the Czechs. That's when they become great offensive players. When you give them the blue line, when you back in, when you're not in their face. When they started hitting, you saw Zidlitsky get killed in the neutral zone. You got to keep doing that to that guy. That'll pay off in the third period. He'll cough up a puck because he doesn't want to get hit. But if you back off and try and win this game by 1 goal and win it 2-1, just like the United States last night, you will lose this game. The Czechs have too much firepower. Attack, get the puck in front of their net, have the defense join the rush. That's how they've scored 2 of their goals and got chances on about 3 or 4 other ones.
Teams scoring first in the World Cup of Hockey have lost a grand total of 1 game. It was yesterday. The U.S. sitting on that lead. Didn't work out for them. If you did miss the game here on ESPN2, we'll take a look back as the defending World Cup champs go down to defeat against Finland. Started out well. Scott Gomez, great look on the power play to Dougie Waite. No problem into the empty net, Barry.
Scotty Gomez sees the ice as well as anybody in the NHL, and this is the future of United States hockey right here. Scotty Gomez. Dougie Waite makes a good play reading Gomez coming in from the far post onto the far post. Great goal. But from then on, the United States tried to win this game 1-0, and you can't do that. Right here, Teppo Numminen makes a great shot. He's been a leader for the Finnish team. Jokinen gets the rebound, puts it in, and the winning goal was terrible defensive coverage by the American front of the net. Nobody on Saku Koivu. He gets 2 chances at it. That is bad defense on a winning goal.
Saku Koivu, the difference maker. Finland wins 2-1. Their first ever final appearance in a Canada Cup / World Cup of Hockey. They move on to the final. The defending champs, the Americans, are done. And Barry, that begs the question. 19 skaters, 30 years or older. Are we seeing the dawning, or the end, I should say, of an era as far as USA Hockey goes?
Yeah, we are. And this group deserved this chance in the Canada Cup or the World Cup this year because they won in '96. They took the silver in 2002 in the Olympics. They deserve to have one more kick at the can. But now they've got to bring young guys in. If a young guy at 23, 24 is as good as a guy at 38, you got to give the 24-year-old the chance now to come in and take over American hockey. I said it in the first period. They got to get some size behind the blue line. Guys that can run into people. Guys that can win physical battles. And they got to get some young forwards to help Gomez up there. You've got Drury, you've got a couple other young guys, but they got to get some skilled guys. They won the World Junior, which is great. They've done well in international competition, under 20 years old, which is great. Now it's a chance to give these young guys a chance. The Hulls, the Amontes, the Waits. It's time for these guys to move on and get young guys a chance.
Handing off of the torch. In fact, only 5 different American players scored in this World Cup of Hockey. They are obviously...
No balance, man. No balance.
Yeah.
ESPN's presentation of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey is brought to you by the Toyota Tundra Double Cab. Not just big, life-sized. And ESPN 25, the book, available now.
2-1, Canada leading. Third period about to get underway. 10 of 18 players for the Czech Republic had shots. Patrick Elias had 5, Jágr and Hamrlik 3. A little better divided for Canada. 14 of 18 with at least a shot. No one more than 2. And that guy has what stacks up as the winning goal if this score does not change so far as the Czech Republic goes.
And I like the way that the young defensemen of Team Canada are jumping into the play to create a little more offense.
Let's check in with Joe Micheletti downstairs.
Okay, Doc, thanks very much. You know, early in training camp, it was the Canadian team under the tutelage, really, of Ken Hitchcock, where they were a little bit concerned about the young players on this team and could they play defense in the third period. And I asked him about that, and he said, you know, he looked at players like Brad Richards and Vinny Lecavalier, some of the young stars, Marty St. Louis from Tampa Bay, and he talked about John Tortorella and what an outstanding job Tortorella did to teach these young players how to play defense and how to protect leads. And he says that is one of the real strengths of this team. He says, unfortunately, I coach the Flyers. It's going to be a problem for us for the next 10 years, guys.
Indeed. And we are all hoping sooner rather than later. Underway with the third period of this one. No scoring in the first, Brewer and Lemieux, and then Chayanek for the Czech Republic midway in the second. And the probing continued right to the end of the period, and now Jágr brings it in. Gives on to Vinny Prospel. Jágr pretty well stalemated as he moved to the front of the net, but it came back to his corner. Regier on him again. Moving in and having it knocked away with Straka, but he got it back to Jágr once more. Jágr tried to sweep one in front. Straka with it, sets it on up. It's kept alive by Zidlitsky, who is run into by Shane Doan. What an effective player he's been. Zidlitsky threw it in front, and it sailed just wide. Now Doan after it. Gave it up, though, to Yuri Fischer. Lobs it back in and comes to the bench for a change in line.
Great shift by the Jágr's line. Straka, Prospel, and Jaromír Jágr, but give Canadians plenty of credit for keeping them on the outside.
Patrick Elias is out there now for the Czech Republic. It's knifed away and brought in by Joe Sakic, but just offside as Lemieux did not move back out to center in time.
You know, I mentioned it earlier, but what a proud moment for Wayne Gretzky to have his daughter Paulina Gretzky sing the national anthem before this game right here in Toronto. She also did that at the outdoor game in Edmonton that drew, what, 100,000 fans there? Phenomenal.
It was an impressive turnout there despite all of the cold weather. They turned it into a celebration, and really this game tonight has been turned into a celebration of hockey, not only by the way it's been played, but also by some of the touches, such as the moment of silence to honor the 3rd anniversary of the terrorist attacks on New York and Washington. Of course, the patches being worn by Team Canada for that, by the Czech Republic for their now deceased coach who died tragically in an automobile accident just before their training camp opened, Ivan Hlinka. But ahead with this now is Vaborny. The pass came back to him from Elias. He swatted it back around, hoping for Elias, who runs into Adam Foote. But Canada just banks it along and out as far as center, where Marek Malik is up with it and sails it back in. And once again, another change in lines. First for the Czech Republic, answered now by Canada, the home team. Simone Gagne pressed to the glass by Chayanek. Having to drop back deeper is Hannon. Dumped one ahead that's pitched away from San Luis, but eventually lost by Brad Richards. Started back across, and moving on in is Milan Hajduk. Hajduk after this loose puck, but it is Richards firing it around. And again, Canada gets it to the safety of center. It's turned back in on an offside for Chayanek.
Well, I mentioned the defenseman jumping into the play. Jay Bouwmeester of the Florida Panthers nearly scored just before Eric Brewer had scored in this hockey game to make it a 1-0 game. So watch for that. The defenseman jumping in on the blue line. Passes from behind the net. That one just missed. And here's the goal set up by Draper as Eric Brewer jumped in there right on the doorstep and jammed that one home.
Danny Heatley sent this one in. Zidlitsky just guided away with Ryan Smith so it could be taken and freely sent out by Fisher. A little bit of a decoy move on his part there, and Smith went along with it. Meanwhile, it is tipped back in, and Bouwmeester up with it there. Big defenseman lays it back ahead. Vinny LeCavalier with that. Glove down and just pitched back out again by Zidlitsky. Not a large man, 5'11", 187. Well below the average in the NHL and well below the average in this tournament. Brushed right back for the Czech Republic, trying it again, and finally for a third time getting it out was Marek Malik. But again, just played between the blue lines now, very carefully played. Shots are 24-16, none so far in this period, and nearly 3.5 minutes have been played. So very careful. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey on ESPN2. Joe Micheletti downstairs, Darren Pang alongside yours truly, Mike Emmerich here. The Czech Republic against Canada. One of these teams is done tonight. And I hope you don't believe in these jinxes, but we do need to inform people. If this game is tied at the end of the third period, there will be an overtime, but preceded by a full intermission, and the overtime will be sudden death, 20 minutes in length, just like in the NHL playoffs.
Love that. And I hate the fact you work hard all game long and it ends in a shootout like it did in 1998 Canada against the Czech Republic. It's an empty feeling to end a hockey game that way.
Here's a pass ahead. Walked in and turned on to Jaromir Jagr. Broken up and played back ahead and outletted by Chris Draper. Across now for Shane Doan. And back in again. Two of the grit guys on Team Canada. Draper and Doan, but now it's Jagr. Laying it back across for the carry ahead. Thomas Caberlet moves it up and flipped one that's gloved down very carefully by Robin Regier. Sent along but swatted on by the glove of Caberlet. Comes to the bench for a change. Niedermeyer moves ahead. Right into the paraphernalia of Bokun, and he will cover up. Tuesday, ESPN2's coverage of the Toyota World Cup of Hockey culminates with the final game. Team Finland meeting either Canada or the Czech Republic in the championship game. The Toyota World Cup of Hockey on ESPN2 Tuesday at 7 Eastern. For more information, log on to ESPN.com. Held by Brewer, given along to Iginla. Good work done on him by Hammerlich. Iginla persists to Sakic. Scaled it along behind, but Malik up with it there for the Czech Republic. Skittered it on by Elias, and it's played on back for Brewer. Laid back in again. Very carefully played third period. Only one shot on goal in the period thus far, and nearly 5 minutes played. That was a shot by Canada. Patrick Elias moving in. Adam Foote, and he canceled. Close quarters battle for Joe Sakic. Hopes for Iginla, but instead Zidlitsky. Dropped it on now for Vaborny, but underneath the stick of Patrick Elias. Guarding to that is Zidlitsky. Right back onto Elias again. Fed it for Vaborny in front, but it chipped away. Lemieux right after it, and he's able to lob it back down.
And consider Mario's the left winger on this line. He came across the ice in his own zone to support the play defensively, and he's the guy that's able to chip the puck off the ice. He has spent this entire tournament playing on the left wing with Joe Sakic at center ice and Jerome McGinley on the right wing, but that's nothing new to Mario Lemieux. He spent a lot of time there in the early 90s and later on, and in the Olympics as well, spending some time on the left wing where he's very comfortable. There's Mario coming across now. Good support.
38, and we mentioned earlier, by the time the Nagano, or I beg your pardon, the Torino Olympics are played, only 17 months from now, he will be 40. You could argue that he might not be a member of Team Canada for that. Of course, there's a question about NHL players being involved too. Rene Fossel of the IIHF has said that this needs to be settled by January so that they can make plans necessary for the following February and the Olympics. But Jaromír Jágr has said this may be his last presence on an international team for his native Czech Republic as well.
He has said a lot of things in the past, and you're not quite sure whether to take them real seriously or not, but
you judge by the time he said them, and this was at the outset of this tournament when at one point he said, I'm just not crazy about being here. But
it sent a bad message and a ripple effect through the hockey world when he said that.
Here comes Hayduk up the wing. Hayduk sent one across. Oh, and unable to reach and get good control was Chayanek, who has the only Czech Republic goal. A two-a-side battle at the half boards. And it kicked on back where it was retrieved by Ruchinski, pounded toward the corner. Trying to shake free was Hayduk, but it's just scaled back around into the safety of center ice by the Canadian defense, and coming off the man who did it, Bouwmeester. 6:20 gone in the third period. Brewer and Lemieux the goals for Canada midway in the second. Chayanek answered one time. Here's Jágr ahead, trying to swagger by. Just leaned on enough to be canceled out. What a strong play there by Hannon. Now back ahead, it's Hammerlich retreating in his own end. Roman Hammerlich flipped one that's kept alive by Smith. We get a stoppage of play, and we're going to get a penalty coming up against Canada. Power play to the Czech Republic when we come back.
Canada has not given up a power play goal against the Czech Republic. Will go on the power play because of that call, a holding call on Vincent Lecavalier. Before that, a great one-on-one defensive play by Scott Hannon on Jaromír Jágr going down the right side. And now Jágr doesn't start the first part of this power play. His coach will give him some rest. He'll get on in the second part of the power play against Canada.
The Czech Republic has no shots in the last 8:23. That goes back into the latter part of the second period. Chris Draper to help kill it off with Regier, as well as Niedermeyer and Doan. A lot of the guns are out there, and there are still many waiting at the bench for this Czech Republic team. Kaberle and Vaborny, as well as Havlat out there, will pick up the others as they handle. Laid back ahead now for Havlat, scaled back in. Hayduk right after that. It's skipped on, and it's taken by Patrick Elias. Got it back to the point, held there by Malik, worked back to the corner again. And it is Hayduk escaping. Now Elias again, plays it to himself along the boards and holds. Very deliberate, works to the outside, Hayduk. Kaberle a shot, save, rebound, score! It's Havlat at the net mouth with the rebound, a power play goal, and it's tied at 2.
That is a tremendous setup by Patrick Elias, and the patience that he shows at the half boards on the left side of the ice. That's the key to it all. He didn't get the happy hands, he didn't panic with it, and he perfectly set up the point shot. That shot by Kaberle right here, this is after it all. When he really set it up, then Hayduk is there, is able to play it off. The shot, the rebound, and the goal. Niedermeyer's a little bit slow. He's coming up here on the weak side of the ice. On the left side is the rebound, and Marty Havlat's there to bank home a rolling puck into the empty side of the net.
Fisher the trip midway in the second. Lemieux a power play goal with only 4 seconds left on that penalty. Lecavalier a hold at 6:40. 41 seconds later, the Czech Republic has tied the game.
And I might add that it wasn't a very good call against Vincent Lecavalier.
The trip was far more obvious, that's right.
The hold against Lecavalier was not a good call.
The wall is taken by the Czech Republic. Fans starting to chant. Go, Canada, go. Heatley able to get by! Oh, he tucked it on the backhand, and he couldn't get it by Bokun. Oh, what a remarkable play. Now Lecavalier in front, and that one tipped away by Hayduk and brought back out to the Czech Republic. Laid back on across for a little flip. that came near the front of the net away from Dvorak. Shanked off the short glass to center. LeCavalier taps, and Malik reads that. 11 3/4 minutes to go in the third period. As of right now, and it's a 2-2 tie, and here comes Jágr. He's got Vaborny at the front, and a shot knocked down. Picked up now by Dvorak. Trying to get behind. Held off by Heatley. Down to the ice he goes. Play continues. Sent around behind to Jágr again. Protects it. Looks to the outside and goes toward that corner. Hands it on back now for Dvorak. Shakes it back over now for a little pass in front from Jágr that ricocheted around in some skates. Fed back in front, and another drive, and getting a piece of that Luongo off Jágr's stick, and it's cleared back down. They hustle back for the icing. Malik gets there and touches it up.
Good effort by Thornton to force Malik to hurry up and get that one. But some close, anxious moments there on both sides. Heatley breaks through the middle, bringing through Spacek and Kaberle. He tries to go to the backhand, but the knob of the stick of the left-handed goaltender, Vokoun, might have surprised Heatley. We were talking this morning about the fact he's a left-hand shot, and Vokoun catches with that right hand. And for a lefty, it's an easy play to go up over the glove. But it looked like Heatley had made up his mind early, and when he made up his mind, the knob of the stick got in the way. So Heatley has been frustrated as he has had a couple of really good chances in this game.
Oh, you can see it registered on faces. This is the Hockey Nation, Canada. And the Czech Republic, just impressive. In goal is Vokoun. And one of the linesmen wipes out as this puck is won, and a backhander is stopped by Luongo, and the rebound was just away from David Vaborny, who would have had a great chance to break the tie. Now Lemieux is in. Little pass across. Turning with it is Iginla. Lemieux battling in the corner, and it's Iginla again. Worked on by Vaborny. Persistently, along comes Sakic, and he is taken to the glass by Zidlitsky. Iginla diving and trying to get it through. It's fed in front, but it ricocheted well wide of Lemieux and is cranked back around by Zidlitsky. And all the way back down, it will go for an icing.
A great matchup by Canada, having the Havlet and Vaborny line on the ice. A weaker defensive line going up against the best offensive line of Canada. That was a golden opportunity to create a good scoring chance. Kevin Lowe and Wayne Gretzky anxiously looking on. You have no control when you're standing up here several hundred feet away from ice level. Nothing easy about that. But for Mario, a good little shift going through the neutral zone, a couple of good little dipsy doodle moves.
Here's Niedermeyer across, and a slam to the front. Ricocheted off Doan, it appeared, and is sent back down by the Czech Republic. Well, you think across two nations, all across Canada. Of course, there is that from the west to the east, a difference of 4.5 if you count Newfoundland, maybe 5.5 hours. And in the Czech Republic, it's the middle of the night. It's 3 o'clock. And undoubtedly, because of the way they celebrated the Nagano Olympics and winning the gold, and a celebration that went on for a long time, a lot of people are up early on a Sunday morning in the Czech Republic watching this game too. We hope you're enjoying it. It's a 2-2 tie nearing the halfway point of the third period. The winner goes on to play Finland on Tuesday. Shot is nubbed down. Jágr battling there with Regier, tapped it ahead. Darting after it is Straka, wedged off enough by Chris Draper, and then Jágr comes in and offside and a little shoulder from Doan. There's a lot going on.
Oh, there is a lot. In the Czech Republic, there are 10 million people there and 90 hockey rinks. For Shane Doan in Canada, 32 million people and 2,501 indoor hockey rinks. That doesn't include the outdoor ones. There's a hit on the blue line there. Doan eliminated into man, Jaromir Jágr, but it was already offside.
Here's Malik connecting on. Hammerlick the drive, turned aside by Luongo. Hardy Brodeur, an injury to his hand, could not play. A lot of pain, was on earlier with us in case you missed it. He is not in goal for Team Canada tonight. Roberto Luongo is. Forehand shot is turned aside by Vokoun from Brad Richards. Sent around to Richards. Turned one to the front. Malik up with that. The big defenseman lays a neat pass ahead to center, and it's dumped back in as they hope for Milan Hajduk in the corner. Trying to turn free there, but good defense by Eric Brewer for Canada. Then it came on to Hajduk again. Fed one on a cross that's sent to the point. Quickly right back around again. Curling around behind the net. Swinging one in front was Dopita. It went wide. Big drive. Oh, pad stop. Rebound. Oh, and another stop as it's deflected up over the net by the wonderful goalkeeping there of Luongo. Another shot to the front. He's without his goal stick. Turning to the outside is Richards. Lobbed on out to center ice. Just over 9 minutes to go in the third period. On comes Zidlitsky again. He still doesn't have the stick. Work to the outside and a shot. He covers and hangs on. Oh!
That's some great stuff.
They are standing here. They love hockey.
Great pressure by the Czech Republic. Roberto Luongo has no stick. He makes one save and then a two-pad slide on the neck. He might have got help here from his defenseman right there, but I think it hit the pad, the left pad at the toe area, and caromed over the net. The fans were on their feet. He made another save after that. No one went and got his stick for him. And again, the Czech Republic had a shot in which he had to smother up.
From this draw, down went Dvorak. Puck came near the front, slugged away by Bouwmeester. Again they work. It's Dopita to the outside, handing it on to Robert Reichel. Scurrying around behind, centered one that goes all the way back to center.
The Czech Republic have taken over the momentum of this game. They're on their toes, and Canada right now are on their heels. They've got to do something. Change that by getting the puck in deep, Doc, and creating some sustained forecheck and momentum of their own.
8.5 to go. Bouwmeester ahead. Drive off the glove of Okun. Skips behind. Spacek is reefed to the glass as he clears it along. Good keep by Bouwmeester. Then it is Heatley. Around for a feed in front by Smith. That is cut away from LeCavalier and cleared back out. Played along by Smith. Battles there. Puck sent back ahead. Carried in by Havlat. Havlat tried to finesse by. Could not get past Niedermayer. No sale. Sent to the point for Spacek. Tries to get some help in the corner, and a bear hug applied there. Out of all of that, emerging, David Baborny pops it on back behind. Little feet in front. Oh, and a shot by Elias is fought off by Luongo. Spacek a drive, and that one pinballed across and is sent back to the safety of center.
That's the effort you need. Ryan Smith just made a skate save right there. A wonderful save. 2 shifts in a row. A key player has lost his stick. Roberto Luongo and then Bouwmeester on the last shift.
9 shots to 3. Czech Republic in the period. 33-19 in the game that's tied at 2. Unable to step by. Some strong defense played there by Ruchinski. Worked back ahead for Milan Hajduk. Could not get that one. It was Hajduk who was right in front of the net and was robbed a moment ago by Luongo. Cranked around by Hammerly. Skipped off a skate to center. Brewer run off by Chayanek. Chayanek able to connect back ahead. Little pass for Hajduk is cut and thrown back out again by Lemieux. Under 7 minutes to go in the third. Picked up by Jerome McGinley on a weak toss. Got it across now for Thornton, and a shot. Oh, and it went wide to the glove side of the goalkeeper, Okun, and right back up with it comes Jaromir Jagr again. Going to work on Brewer. Shivered by. Let one around behind for Chayanek. Tucked one on for Jagr. Duels there with Brewer and peels away. Jagr to the outside. Brewer on him. Tried a pass that ricocheted off Baborny. Lobbed around behind. Taken there on the outside. It is controlled by Marty Straka. Lobbed one behind. Jagr all alone there. Met by Shane Doan. Jagr nudged down to the ice by Doan. It's thrown around by Thornton. And it ricocheted away from Zaleski. Might be a chance. Bringing it on his Draper. Drive. Score!
Short side for the left-handed Draper. What a blast. The Selke Award winner with 24 goals last year lets her fly from the top of the circles and beats him cleanly over the glove. Wayne Gretzky and Kevin Lowe watching. Oh, yes! And how about the lucky bounce, though, for Team Canada off the near boards? A fluky bounce, the puck came around the boards, and it went around the defenseman who was there, and that was a lucky break for Canada to get that odd man break. A very fortunate bounce on that side. From the goaltender's perspective, keep your eye on the right side of your screen, right over the shoulder and in. It's a good shot, but from the goalie's perspective, not one you want to give up on that short side like that. Wasn't square to it and went down early.
Here is Havlat trying to get on. Oh, a shot, they score! A deep shot from the slot. Patrick Elias. And the game is tied again right off the resulting faceoff. Unbelievable.
They continue to respond and battle through adversity, this Czech Republic squad. Every time Canada has scored, they've come back with a great scoring chance. And Patrick Elias is a dynamic goal scorer that can make a play. It was a fouled up, botched up play that might have deflected off of Niedermeyer, but it's a quick release, and the frustration there, the highs and lows of being up here in the press box for Wayne Gretzky and Kevin Lowe.
A roller coaster ride.
Huh.
Occasionally during stoppages of play, we have seen very calm players on the ice. While we're going nuts and so are the fans.
Oh.
I don't know how they keep their calm, but I guess that's what professionals do.
It's great stuff, isn't it? I mean, just great stuff. I'm so impressed with the Czech Republic and how they continue to bounce back.
Here's a feed to Lemieux and a shot fought off by Vokoun. Tipped over to Elias, nudges it back out to center ice, and Regeer chases it down. A complete change for the Czech Republic now. Sakic's pass. Oh, and Lemieux was shouldered firmly to the glass by Yuri Fischer. Now it's skipped in front, and Vokoun had to jab it away. Helter-skelter right now, as back to center ice where it comes Zidlitsky. Angles it back in. Dvorak to play it there. Yanked it around behind. Pressed was Hayduk. Dopita couldn't get it. Hayduk still trying. Nudges it one-handedly over to Dvorak, and he's run to the boards. It's played back up by Hannon. Kept by Zidlitsky. Angles one back in deep. Dopita turned one that had to be paddled away by Luongo. And now brought by LeCavalier. Gets to center, and Heatley gets away from a hit from Zidlitsky. Heatley fed it across. Angled just away from Ryan Smith, who couldn't get a shot away to the partly vacated net. Now it's Heatley again. Tries to step to the front, can't. Hammerlich slugs it back to center with 4 3/4 minutes to go. And this one tied at 3. Vokoun sets it up. Hurried along by Hammerlich again. Lob back out by Zidlitsky. Settled down by Adam Foote for Canada. Forced around behind by Straka's forechecking. Little passes crisply on to Joe Thornton. The Boston Bruin forward nudges it ahead. Brought on by Doan in a shot that got the glass. Sent back further. Czech Republic trying to get it. Yager can't reach though, as Eric Brewer just cradles it back deeper. Lays it on to Doan. Doan swung it back in. It's gloved down and played by the defense. Ahead now for Vinny Prospel. Prospel's pass went all the way back down the ice, but racing back now is Elias. And Elias cuts off the icing, though the puck goes to Team Canada with under 4 minutes to go now. Brought ahead by Joe Sakic. Wedged it on a cross. Caberlet takes care of his man there, then is run into by Sakic as he played it along to Havlat. Flipped one around behind. Caberlet couldn't settle it down. Lemieux throws one in front, and it ricocheted off of Sakic at the lip of the crease, and it's thrown all the way back out to center. Niedermeyer grabs. Another change for the Czech Republic. It's knifed away and turned on to Havlat. Starts it back ahead on the offense. They give it across now to Vaborny. Across now to Havlat. Havlat moving in. Sent it through the crease wide. Playing him defensively was Lemieux, who comes to the bench for a change. 3:20 to go. Sakic trickles it back in. McKinley goes for it there, and Malik ties him up on the wall. Good, healthy hit by Ryan Smith as it's played back out now, and trying to get it as Vaborny swings it on further, hoping for Hayduk, who picks his way through a lot of traffic and drops back. Then across. They try for Hayduk again. Canceled out by Robin Regeer. Niedermeyer tries to play Camp. Sails it the other way, and Ryan Smith is patrolling. Smith flipped it further. Zidlitsky kicked it back on and kept the play alive. 2 3/4 minutes separating these teams from OT. Smith lobs it ahead. The bouncer is settled down by Hammerlich, who retreats behind the net. Roman Hammerlich, defenseman for the New York Islanders. Fired it around, and LeCavalier will get there first. Heatley at the front. He can't get the pass to him. Dragging through a lot of traffic and able to pull away was Ruchinski. Drubbed all the way back down the ice for the icing by Hammerlich. Everyone needs to get a rest. 2:18 to go, third period. It was 3-2. But then it was Elias. A reaction there and one there. Still even.
Well, for Mary Lemieux and Team Canada, they're going to have to be careful with some of the turnovers that happen with 3 men in deep. But if that happens, you got to come back, put your head down and keep grinding, never stop. And that's what he did. Did a wonderful job of getting back on Marty Havlat, who's got a goal in this game. And Havlat also assisted on Elias's game-tying goal just moments ago.
Two proud hockey nations, Czech Republic and Canada, battling here a 3-3 deadlock with 2:07 to go in regulation time. Draper scored. 6 seconds later, Elias scored.
6 seconds.
Oh, right off the draw. Unbelievable, but that's been the mark of just a wonderful game as Volkoon sets it up now for Caberlet, and we're down to 1 3/4 minutes until overtime, unless one of these teams can score. Thornton prompts it ahead. Lemieux had trouble, but recovered. Through traffic, his pass is cut, though. Lobbed back out by Vaborny. Chased down now by Patrick Elias, moving up the wing. A wrist shot is shrugged away by Luongo.
That's the kind of shot you saw this year with Elias playing for New Jersey against Luongo on Florida. Short side and high like that.
Last one he got was on the ice from the deep slot. And Havlet the only assist. That was at 13:53. Again, they play in the corner. Havlet there, but canceled out effectively by Scott Hannon. And we are down to the last minute of regulation time. Stepping in is Hammerlich with it there. Hammerlich spun it back around. Waiting is Havlet behind, protected, and then a smear to the boards and glass by Brewer. Back ahead for Canada, it's Joe Sakic moving in. Sakic drops. Taken there and lobbed by Iginla, but a kneeling block by Zidlitsky. Bounced on out to center, and Havlet is checked off by Adam Foote. Down to the ice goes Havlet after Regier went down on a little Havlet lean. Now Sakic flips it ahead, and it's gloved down, and Heatley trying to get through. Cannot get by Spacek on defense, who banked it back out to center. 25 to go in regulation time as it's ladled back in again. Moving along is Heatley, canceled out by Caberlet. Back up the boards. It is held by Regier, and a shot knocked out in front and sent to the corner as Heatley was providing a screen. On the wall, Yager tipped it back out. 12 seconds to go. Hustling on with it now is Straka. Moving on in, trying to escape. A shot went just wide. In the corner, turning with it now is Prospel. 3 seconds and 2. A drive at the last moment. Whistles off the glass, and it's going to take OT. 35 shots to 23. 3 goals apiece. They are tired. They have not yet become victorious. Neither team after 60 minutes has done anything yet. 3-3 after 3. Dave and Barry, it's all yours for a while.
Wow, what a game. Barry Melrose, David Amber, intermission report coming your way, and then, of course, overtime. But for those of you in SEC markets, don't worry. College football's on the way. Mississippi taking on Alabama. Enjoy the football. Enjoy the hockey. Enjoy your night right here on ESPN2. Intermission report rolling on next. Welcome back to the World Cup of Hockey.
I think I said 4-3.
You didn't even let me get the words out.
I was scared you weren't going to.
You did predict a 4-3 final, and it looks like Barry Melrose does know his hockey. Wow. Barry, if this is the second last game we're going to see for a while as far as hockey goes, people are getting their money's worth.
Well, hopefully the last game will be even better than this, but this has been a fantastic game, and it showcases what hockey can be like when it's played properly, and that's with passion, that's with courage, lots of hitting. Both teams are doing it. The sticks are down. 1 power play each for each team. I thought Yager had a great first period. I thought Canada made great adjustments in the second and third period, really taking him out of his game. But then Elias and Hayduk really respond and pick up the slack. Canada, I think Mario's been unbelievable. Niedermeyer on defense not getting any credit. He's probably playing more than any other Canadian defenseman, really playing solid back there. And Luongo coming in to replace Brodeur has been great, especially on that goal, that rebound chance. Hayduk had stops the first shot and then stops the second one with his skate. So it's been a fantastic game. It's been an awesome game, and by far the best game of the tournament so far.
Czech Republic, a lot of scoring power. They've scored 3 goals in this game. Canada had allowed 3 goals in their first 4 games. Radek Dvorak plays for the Oilers, but he's trying to spoil Canada's celebration. He's standing by with our Joe Micheletti.
Marty Havlet, your team has come back a couple of times in this game to get goals, and it seems like when you do, the momentum changes to your side. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, after they scored a second goal, we scored like 5 minutes later, and from that time we just said to ourselves, we have to play our game like we did in the first period, put the puck deep in, and we tied the game, but they scored again. We tied again, so I think it's a very nice game for tonight.
What do you think the overtime, or how the overtime is going to be played by both teams?
First is defense, so I think both teams will do their best on the defensive side, and then if you play good defense, those offensive chances come in. So first of all, you know, have a good back check and go from there.
Did either team finish this third period with the momentum?
I think both teams playing well last 10 minutes, so I think it's even.
We appreciate your time. Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that was Marty Havlat, and he plays for the Senators, so it still applies the same thing.
Still in Canada, still in Canada.
Well, we've seen a great game right now, and we saw a one-goal game last night, which was the end for Team USA trying to defend their World Cup championship. They had a 1-0 lead, but they squandered it in the third period. In case you did miss this one on ESPN2, here's what happened. Scott Gomez, great pass on the power play to Dougie Waite, buries it, 1-0 USA.
Well, early in the game, the Americans were taking it to Finland, who is a passive counter-punching team. Gomez makes a great pass to Dougie Waite coming in from the point. Gomez had a great tournament for the Americans. That's one of the positive things, a great young forward.
But then in the third period, the U.S. sat back on the lead, and Olli Jokinen, a former first-round pick, buries it, and we're tied at 1. And then a little bit later in the third, what about Saku?
Bad defense. Nobody goes to the man with the puck, gives him way too much time to make a play. Koivu at the side, and they had way too much time also. So Americans were their own worst enemy in that play. Too easy a goal to win a game like that.
Finland moves on to their first ever final in the World Cup/Canada Cup. 2-1 is your final. The USA, they won it in '96 and heartbroken about not getting a chance to defend their title in the final.
It's very disappointing for all of us. I mean, you know, we felt we had a good chance to win. We were kind of hitting stride and you know, playing a good team game and doing all the things we were supposed to be doing. And you know, it came down a matter of a couple bounces. So it's you know, it's a real letdown.
Barry, let's give this some context. The Americans, the oldest team, 19 of their players 30 years or older, maybe passing now of the torch.
Well, Chris Chelios announced he's not going to play any more international games for the United States. He's going to play for Detroit. He's going to sign a new contract. But they got to get some younger guys in there. If a younger player, as I said before, is as good as an older player, you've got to cut the ties. You've got to give the young guy a chance to cut his teeth in international hockey. The Americans have been good in international play, 20 years old and under. They won the World Junior, which is a huge feat. That really gets the young players a chance to play international hockey and get them ready for the next step, which is the Olympics and which is the World Cup. But they got to get some young forwards, and they got to get bigger behind the blue line. Look at these two teams tonight. They're giants back there. Fisher, Malik, everybody is huge back there, 6'4", 6'5". So you got to get some giants back behind the blue line to hold up those forwards.
All right, well, Barry, you know, you said it's going to be a 4-3 game. I need to know who's going to score the goal, Kreskin. What do you think?
Dan Heatley. For the Canadians, he's had a great game. He had the breakaway late in the third period, just was stalled. So Heatley for Canada. And I'm not picking a Czech player because I am a homer. If the United States can't win, I'm picking Canada. So Dan Heatley is the only guy that's going to score a goal in OT.
All right, well, I'll say Gagne and I'll say Hayduk just in case. Not that I'm trying to jinx Canada, just so you know.
All right. Wonderful game, 3-3, about to go to overtime. Will it end like a game September 15th of 1976, Canada against Czechoslovakia, and Daryl Sittler with a chance?
What a play that was, huh?
Vladimir Druzilla was the man in goal, and the best of 3 was won by Canada on that overtime goal by Sittler, 2-0. This has just been marvelous.
Outstanding. And I'm just so glad this is overtime. Yeah. I mean, that's the way you should end a game like this. Obviously, Canada has not been able to maintain a lead in this game, and the Czech Republic have just bounced back, showing their really their conditioning and really their resilience as a hockey club.
Luongo in the cage to the left. Vokun in the one to the right. Lobbed on for Zidlitsky. Lays it ahead to Jaromir Jagr. Moving back up with Straka and gives to him. Straka turns. Help came from Prospel. But it went off his stick, and it's just forced back out again by Shane Doan. And it will go down for an icing touch-up by Hammerlich. And so the faceoff will come back near Roberto Luongo.
Chris Draper made it a 3-2 hockey game at 13:47 of the third period. And this place erupted. And it wasn't 6 seconds later that Patrick Elias scored his third goal from Marty Havlat to tie the game at 3 apiece. And the momentum really had been in the Czech Republic's favor. I think they played an outstanding hockey game. And Roberto Luongo, give him credit for making several spectacular saves.
Here's Vaborny moving in. Vaborny a shot. Oh, and it's shrugged away by Luongo, who hugged tight to that post. Dealt back out now for Iginla. Didn't get much on that, so it's Caberlet spinning it back. Patrick Elias flipped it back in. 8 shots on goal for him in this game. He leads all players. And he has a goal that tied it up and has forced this overtime. Again, it's cleared back down. Once again, there'll be an icing and a face-off back near Luongo.
Canada's on their heels. Let's go back to the goal by Draper. This pass around by Thornton hit the partition, and it bounced by Zidlitsky that results in an odd man break, and Draper just blew it past Bokun. Then they're on the bench. They're looking at each other. They're celebrating. It went from a smile from Chris Draper to what just happened. Shortly after that, 6 seconds later, it was tied up, and this place went deathly quiet.
Nervous tension in the seats. Played along now for Heatley. For Canada in the red jerseys, but Ruchinski on back to the outside. Hayduk, and a shot blocked away by Luongo. Thrown by Chayanek. Worked to the outside again by Milan Hayduk. Hayduk dropped it on. Help came from Malik. Around behind Chayanek again. Looks to the front. Ruchinski is there. Oh, and a save made by Luongo on a nice deflection by Ruchinski. Nubbed down by Heatley. Played back along, and this will be an offside if it is handled that way, and sure enough is an offside pass. So back it will come into the Czech Republic's defensive end.
This has to concern the coaching staff of Team Canada right now, the pressure that's put upon them by the Czech Republic team. Great cycle down low. Ruchinski's nullified by a good save by Luongo, who's cheating to his right and somehow gets that right pad, down along the ice in an awkward fashion, and then wasn't quite sure where that puck was.
Off the draw, won by the Czech Republic and controlled by the defense. Hammerlich played it along, and roaring to this now is Thornton. Thornton spun it around behind. Puck controlled there, worked to the outside by Gagne, then back over to Doan. Beg your pardon, that was Draper giving it to Doan. Sent behind, Draper trying to get there. Help came from Spacek onto Jágr, can't get out with it, and it's left behind by Hammerlich. Here's Thornton to drive, and he got the glass with the shot. A turnover by the Czech Republic, and now it's Jágr shifting from defense to offense and getting to center. Booted on back for the follow-up by Hammerlich. Shakes it back in. Stepping to it now is Dopita. Half boards with it for the Czech Republic, turning it back along to Jágr. Locked up there by Regier. Elias came by, but it's sent on to Lemieux, and Lemieux makes the safe play back out to center. Haverley turned it right back along. Worked back in by Zidlitsky. Tried to get by, could not. Niedermeyer was watching there. Help came from the defense for Team Canada, and it skipped all the way back to the Czech line. Now at the Canadian line, sent on to Lemieux again. Moves back in and gives to Sakic. Wrist shot! And getting a piece of it, it appeared with Bokun. Havlat tipped it back to center. The bouncer is flung down and brought on by Caberlet. Caberlet escapes, gives it on to Havlat. A shot! And that one is held by Luongo.
The Czech Republic are without Yuri Fischer. He's not on the bench right now. But let's take a look at Patrick Elias. This is what happened right after Draper scored. Team Canada is still celebrating. They put on their big line, but Marty Havlat makes a great play to poke the puck by Robin Regier. And Patrick Elias just fires it in one motion beyond a startled goaltender, Roberto Luongo. Tied the game up at 3.
Chayanek on the tie-up. Fed on back to the point. Here's Spacek a shot, and that one deflected wide. Chayanek right there to get it again. Wanted Hayduk, couldn't get it there. Overtime shots are 4-0 the Czech Republic. It's turned over to Hayduk. Hayduk tries to get to the front, can't. Wheeling and under better control is Ruchinski. Flip one out in front all alone. Oh, and a save made by Luongo across the way on Milan Hayduk. And it's still a live game in overtime. Battle on. Ryan Smith sends it ahead. Here comes LeCavalier. No one with him so far except Czech Republic players. They're able to outman but not clear. Smith a shot, save, rebound. Oh, LeCavalier scored! Canada wins in overtime!
What a second effort that was. And the magic of the Tampa Bay Lightning continues. The Czech Republic hugging there. All-world goaltender Thomas Bokun. But what a play by Vincent LeCavalier. A loose puck at the doorstep. He mishandled the first one. It looked like he had no chance of firing it in the open net on a very sharp angle. But somehow LeCavalier a former #1 overall draft pick, to the Tampa Bay Lightning, made it happen. There was a chunk out of their own zone by Canada. He gets to the loose puck, then fights off one man, and spot check mishandled the puck. Healy makes a great play to keep it in. There's the first fumble. Look at the sharp angle that was. What a goal by Vincent Lecavalier. Team Canada will now play Finland for the championship. Well, Vinny gets to the loose puck. Good, strong hustle. And they were reeling. Let's face it, they were against the ropes. It was all Czech Republic to begin the overtime. For 3.5 minutes, it was Czech Republic, and this was the only chance Canada gets.
And watch this from the executive director. Yaha! And all of the emotion. We saw it harnessed so well at dramatic times in this game. There you see the bench exploding. And with all of this, the handshakes at center ice. One team moves on with the nation behind it to play Finland on Tuesday, and the other certainly did honor a man no longer with us named Hlinka, honored by the performance of the Czech Republic in this arena tonight. Final score in overtime, Canada 4, Czech Republic 3. We go now to Ed Collins and Andre Ware. It is Alabama football. Again, a 4-3 final score. Canada wins in overtime. Good night from Toronto. We now go to Ed Collins and Andre Ware in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. From here, a thrilling night of hockey. And ahead, college football at its finest. We hope you enjoyed this one.